Cryogen, you know, like Masu's been around for a while, but Griffin, Gakko's, like all of these guys are really doing well.
Yeah, and we even had some revenge for the elderly players too, like Impact. Speaking of Sentinels taking down, yeah, so it's not just an age thing. The young kids are getting revenge, and the old grandpas are.
Revenge for the elderly is such a crazy phrase, man.
Hey, man, they kicked Impact off the team, and then he beat them.
As the elderly ourselves, we're allowed to use that.
And they even won the series, and he had Guardian in the first game. All good.
Guardian Aatrox, man. You can't underestimate it.
He gave him one for free, you know?
I played Flex Q with him last night, and he was cracking up about it. So he was in a good mood. He was joking.
I mean, after you win with it, of course you're going to be in a great mood about it.
That does change the tone.
Yeah,
you already know you won.
Let's go ahead and get into draft, gentlemen, because game number 1 is underway with our picks and bans. We got Ziggs and Rumble banned out by FlyQuest. Cloud9 going to ban out the Ambessa, Varus, and Orianna.
Okay, Azir. Are we going to see the Azir? APA Azir is kind of notorious. However, then he started having some really good games on it, so people then like regain respect for him on it, and FlyQuest looks like they do have that respect for the Azir, for him on it, and so whenever Orianna is banned, you usually see the answer. Not always.
But often.
But very, very often and frequently you do. And so then you go down to the Taliyah versus Ryze tier. Very high probability here. Quad, though, is one of the players that could mix it up. We'll see if he just goes for the normal trade. Meanwhile, Vi, to me, is super high prio right now with the Vi buffs recently, and then Pantheon. Those are two that really pair well with the Taliyah. And these mid laners might fight over those junglers to have them as their pairing. We'll see. Just Vi and Pantheon both have really nice point and clicks. Nefiri is an interesting hover, and I won't talk super seriously about it just yet, but Nefiri jungle got a jungle monster damage bump. And Nefiri mid lane had already been like doing decently well in solo queue, so it's one to keep your eyes on as far as carry jungles do go as a possibility. But again, the hover is probably, you know, not quite yet, and we'll see something more standard.
Yeah, it has been one fun thing about Griffin, though, is he has not been afraid to kind of go his own way as far as the jungle role is concerned. And he's bringing in the volley, he's bringing out the Ambessa, which has been a lot of fun to see. So maybe give a little bit more credit over to that. Pantheon, you know, you mentioned it earlier, up and available. It is kind of that prime pairing. That or Vi are almost always the ones you're going to see with Taliyah if they are up. So that's kind of my expectation, is we'll get one of those for Blabber. And then we have to see, you know, do they want to blind, you know, top lane, or do they want to kind of throw out a support or something like that here?
Okay, that's my favorite champion in the game right there. I love that champion. Absolutely the best.
Dude, that's like a hack. That, hey, can you just like hide my pick for me, you know?
Yeah, we're gonna sneak it in there.
We'll do our draft, but like don't show them.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Corki. I can see in the game it was Corki. So they chose Corki and Zehen.
Okay, so we've got Zehen locked in. We've got Corki locked in there. So we do have the marksman alongside what I'm assuming to be the top laner.
So if they want to deny some of those jungle pairings, though, FlyQuest is going to have the opportunity to do that in the second round of bans. Like, they could ban, you know, Pantheon Vi, try to deny that sort of thing. Masu is a really good Senna. So, APA calling for the 2-0 there on camera.
So, since it's on camera, it's actually reversed and looked like a 0-2 to me. So, unfortunate, because that's what you're showing to the viewers.
He's like really smug. We're going to get stomped today, buddy.
He's like, watch this, 0-2. Because of the camera. Anyways, yeah, Zehen it was interesting seeing the Zehen ban in the last series, because this has not been a high prio champion, but very clearly has recently been getting a lot of time in scrims, and I'm happy to see it. Definitely is a fun one, you know, one of these like either Stride Breaker or Trinity Force Power Spike type champions, and making use of good ultis where you get to feel like that actual god, and you are going to get a lot of you know, like drain tanking, and then relying on being able to stack up your passive for your revive and everything can be fun to watch. But if you get hit with a lot of these snares here, you know, we're faced against a Senna and a Ryze that might hamper your movement.
So they're doing some protection bans for Thanatos on the Zehen. We're expecting that to go up to top lane, so they're going to ban out the Aurora. Nami, obviously, the premier pairing with Corki, so once Corki's locked in, you might be wanting to take that away. Yep. I am still kind of expecting the Pantheon ban to come through from FlyQuest. I would be surprised if they do leave that open alongside the Taliyah, because that one is just so easy, I feel like, as far as being able to reliably pull it off. But instead, they're going to ban the Bard, so they're just saying, you know what, it doesn't actually matter between those jungle picks, whether you get Vi, whether you get Pantheon. same difference for us. So just being able to be targeting those pairings with Vulcan. Corki really popular with these range sports.
Yeah, taking away the Bard here for Vulcan, he definitely is someone that loves this champ and does protect your mid lane a lot more, so you don't have to deal with quite so many roams. And if you're a Senna lane, you know you're a Senna lane. So until you get your static shiv, your wave clear is dog, okay? It's actually terrible.
Not good. It's barking.
It's dog plus the word that Griffin said a lot.
Yeah, okay. All right, you got to pick up after.
Excitement.
Yeah, exactly.
He was excited.
All right. Good job, Isaac. Good job.
Yeah.
So that's his inner Canadian coming out, finding a way to say it in a polite way.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what we get here with 3 out of those 4 second phase bans being supports, the other one being the Aurora that was mentioned earlier. It is Sion locked in for FlyQuest here in the top lane for Gatkos.
Yeah, I mean, this is already just kind of like a straight up just Group 5 comp that they have from Fly. Obviously, Ryze can play side lanes, but you have this diving front line. You have Sion, you have Wukong, you have the Senna ult over the top. You have Ryze, which is relatively short range. So they are going to be a very durable comp. And I'm curious to see, is C9 going to try to draft more to fight front to back, or are they going to do something different?
Jungle's ahead.
Jungle's ahead.
Jungle's ahead. Jungle's ahead. All right.
Didn't expect that.
Let's see. Blabber, yep. I mean, we're giving a lot of credit for Griffin creativity, but Blabber has always been one to at least use a lot of the tech and practice a lot of it.
What's your thought, though? Because it's like, oh, we're so clever. We moved ahead to jungle so we could pick Renekton into Sion, which I never feel like you see any value in that matchup.
Yeah, I mean...
You do for Sion.
Yeah.
Well...
Renekton usually gets a bit ahead.
Let's add the caveat. This is Thanatos Renekton.
That's true.
So Thanatos Renekton is one of his favorite champs of all time. And guess what? Maybe they knew it was a swap.
A double flex.
Maybe they knew it was a flex to the Senna lane because Sion plus Senna. Sion plus Senna, they can do this combo where Senna can put the root onto a minion and then Sion can shoot with his shout the minion and try and time it so that the Senna root will proc on them.
Yeah.
So it's actually a lane that has a lot of popular like YouTube videos and it gets used a decent amount of like solo queue and flex queue and stuff like that, which is a cool combination and seems like Cloud9 were not super surprised by it. So then you view the Renekton through more of a blind pick window where you were expecting a high probability of a swap and it actually gave the final counter there over to Gatkos, which goes with the Gnar, which is a very good pick into the Renekton.
I mean, it's interesting, right? Like, you could give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they saw it in scrims. 0 Sions played in bot lane in pro, so it's like hasn't come out yet in pro, but yeah,
it's
you're
always
right.
with a Senna pick. It's you're not going to get like a random
possible.
ain't no Sions popping up without the Senna.
What, you just want to play Sion down there for no reason?
Yeah. But okay, so this tech that I'm talking about though is really cool and fun to watch. The Sion tech with Senna snare and then shooting the minion is very creative, and I'm hoping that we get to see that displayed here. It's also very interesting because the Sion gets a lot of value out of farming, obviously with the Soul Furnace, and so you can kind of like, oh, it's nice for the Senna, get your souls anyways, and the healing and shielding allows Sion to still CS pretty effectively.
Well, Masu's piloting the Sion this game, and he was feeling the pressure in this matchup.
Intimidated. He's just looking at me.
Across the aisle over
And in all chat, Masu was like, APA, what did you signal before the game? He was asking him because he saw him doing something. So APA didn't respond, which is surprising. But yeah, we'll see how Masu performs here on the Sion, and also how Cryogen is going to be able to play on the Senna, because it is a bit of a different style. Like, yes, you can play it as a true support, but Senna support wants to continue getting gold. You want to really be able to maximize the amount of souls you're getting, and some supports are really comfortable on how to do that, following their jungle around at good times, get extra souls. Others, you just see them with no souls at all.
All right, and while we're waiting for those souls to start stacking, we've got Emily standing by for an interview with C9 coach I Will Dominate.
Thank you, Flowers. Dom, the first thing I have to ask you is Griffin did tweet about Unk coached me when I was 13. What was it like coaching Griffin back then?
So what I say is that he's exactly like Blabber, you'll give him instruction and he'll say, oh, I'm not going to do that again, and then he'll do the same thing the next game. So that's like kind of the type of player. I mean, honestly, I think that Griffin and Blabber are very similar players. Like we kind of talk about it in the C9 house, how like Kryra is the new Inspired, and then Griffin is the new Blabber. It's like we have these new players in the league that actually play like some of like the older veterans, and they're all good players. So I think sometimes players come in and they look rough, but I feel like the rookies that are in the LCS now are just better than they were before.
No, I'd agree, especially with those two junglers. Last thing, just talk to me about this draft. This is the first Zehen we've seen in LCS thus far. Just talk me through what you're looking for, how you want your team to play this out.
Well, something is happening right now. We got a kill. Are we alive?
You are alive.
We're not alive. No. We'll take it, though. Corky got the kill? Corky got the kill. Okay, we'll take it. I mean, Zehen is a champion that's just good right now. I mean, it got buffed for jungle, so it became much stronger overall. Are we getting another kill? No, what happened? We died? Never mind, it's a jungle diff. It's a Zehen problem.
All right, I'm going to toss it back to casters so they can take it away. Thank you so much, Dom.
I don't know what to take away now. The fight's already over. Bottom lane's bloody.
Masu's got 2 kills. I mean, Sven got first blood, so that's nice for him. But at the end of the day, Masu is getting a pretty big injection of gold. We can look back at it. Vulcan,
it was so nice.
Targon usage, kills the minion, instant hook on a Cryogen, and then they just fully committed to it.
Yeah, I love those. It's the classic, you know. Instantly execute a minion into the very quick Q that comes out afterwards. You know, you do your attack, you instantly get your Q going right through it, and so he pulls off the trick to kill the Senna, but then it starts going bad. I love that we actually, you know, got a lot, like Dom can't see the exact game, but so he keeps having to ask Raz, are we getting the kills? Nope. Another one went their way. 2-1 jungle diff. Of course, the extra 300 gold on first blood does help that a decent amount, but it's still really rough. And now they did the trick I was looking for.
There's your minion thing.
That's what I was calling for with this combo. It was nice. It's not going to result in a kill or anything.
Yeah.
But hey, I like to get vindicated.
Yeah, it's a fun combo. You see people doing that. It's a fun ARAM combo. People do that a lot too, because even if you just execute the minion with your E, it procs it instantly at the end of the travel time. So it's very, very easy to pull off on a low HP minion. And Masu and Cryogen, as long as they keep scrapping, it is great for Cryogen. As long as he's alive, you just keep getting those souls. I'm going to be interested to see if he goes for the full-on, you know, healer style build. Because he has fleet and not area, I'm assuming he's going to do more the AD style with Black Cleaver, which can actually scale really well as a damage threat as long as you're getting a lot of souls.
So the one I actually, you know, saw this before, but yeah, here's the trick that I was talking about from Champ Select. Put the snare on the minion, boom, kick the minion over there with the shout. But as far as the Senna build, I hope that he goes for the Echoes of Helia one that I just I recently experienced, and the new Echoes is feeling really, really good. So it does also rely on you doing damage to get really good value, and so you really do got to get in there. But Cryogen so far, you know, it looks like he is not afraid of getting in there, and there's been constant action.
I mean, he has 20 souls already, 5 minutes 20 in. So if you can get a really scrappy lane, it's actually so good for Senna, and he's going to do Black Cleaver, I think. Generally, if you're going to do the Helios build, you do go with Airy, so that was my assumption when I saw Fleet, is that he was going to do more of that AD style build. Sometimes people go like Cleaver into more supportive stuff. Sometimes people do full damage, just depending on how much gold they're getting.
Yeah.
But it's one of the nice things about this new season. We talked about it a bit yesterday on the cast with Enchanters. You get so much free gold from the support quest. It's kind of the same thing with Senna. You can be a real AD threat. If you have 2 or 3 items and a lot of souls, like, you hurt. You're not someone that you just want to ignore.
All right, what about the crab? Nobody wants to ignore crabs. This is Cloud.
Not Blabber.
Definitely not Blabber or Griffin. He flies.
Yeah, Blabber's going in. Now, hold on. C9's ready to take the fight, and Griffin is in some serious danger. He's going to get popped and dropped. C9 grabs the kill.
Blabbers, crabbers, where you at? I know Jack is in chat. Plug in the merch right now. They literally have printed shirts for this thing. Sven getting a decent amount of damage while he's under the tower alone at the moment. But that is the most Blabber and the most Cloud9 play. I'm sure Dom is also smiling back there, flashing in, and you get the crab, and you're able to chase down for the kill.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice. He flashes in, you know, he hit the W, the pullback onto Griffin and the clone. Even though Griffin reacted, he gets pulled back in. Blabber wins the smite, gets 6, and his whole team was there. So really,
You were
Griffin
winning
should have
either
backed
way.
off.
Yeah.
Griffin should have backed off.
That was one where obviously one of the most iconic LCS plays was Blabber at, I believe, MSI, flashing and dying for the crab. But that is one where it's like a win-win scenario because, as you say, your whole team is there first. So it's going to be a dub either way, pretty much.
Well, Isaac, you were saying that Griffin should have backed off, but was Dom not saying that Griffin is simply the new age Blabber?
Yeah.
So I
younger.
I don't think Blabber would back off of the crab. Griffin's not going to back off of the crab. And
It was never an option.
There was never retreat feasible here for the crab, and the game is still dead even after.
And I mean, it is great to be putting this guy down because Griffin has been killing it. He's #1 in kill percentage. He's been having very high KPA. His damage stats are insane for junglers as well. He was like heavily leading the league as far as that is concerned too. This guy has come out, he has played fearless, and he has been really, really effective doing it. This is a player that I think people talked about a lot more as like, oh, maybe in the future he's got to round out those rough edges and then he's going to be good. But he's kind of come in, played his style, and been great.
Yeah, I mean, he got a carry Ambessa jungle game that went very, very well for them. He had high success on Wukong specifically as well, so see if this one ends up going a similar route. Very curious to see how this Zehen here for Blabber does play out as it goes through because they have point-and-click engage with Nautilus ult. So if Zehen gets good engage on his team coming from the Nautilus here, then you can really melt. We'll see, though. Dragon getting started out by FlyQuest themselves as they have the early move. They have also got mid-prio, so Blabber says, I'm out of there. Dragon is yours. It's fine. I'll cross for grubs.
Exactly. It's 8.5 minutes on the clock. The grubs are available. You can easily just handshake the objectives, and we'll see what they're able to gather from that grub control later on in the game. You have Renekton in the side lane. You do have a Talia to also contribute to making plays in the sides with the Weaver's Wall, so we'll see how much that means for Cloud9 going forward, how much gold they'll be able to farm with that extra damage on the turret plates.
Yeah, I'm just really interested to see how Blabber does on it. There's only 2 games played globally in the Zahungle, we'll call it. The Zahungle.
I am not calling it the
It's Zahungle. He's playing Zahungle.
Just you can go shorter and just Zungle.
Nah, Zahungle.
I'm on
the
Team
H.
Kobe. I'm on Team Kobe.
Nah, you
That's
need the
less
H.
syllables. No.
It's clearly Zahungle.
I cannot be spinning that many syllables on Zahungle.
He's clearly
You're gonna have to step your game up, brother. I thought you were supposed to be a good play-by-play.
He does play-by-play one day, and now all of a sudden he's got opinions.
It's not my fault if I believe in your ability to do it.
All right, guy.
Isaac is like chaotically neutral, or maybe maybe skews a little like chaotic evil at some times.
Chaotic Isaac. It's his entire own spot on the grid.
Yeah, exactly. But he's definitely got the chaotic in there.
We're all agreed. It's Zahungle.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you liked Knockwave. That one worked out.
That one is actually very good and creative. It is the absolute value of Zahungle.
Just because we liked one thing
you wouldn't get it.
All right, true. So let's actually look
get back on the rails.
Let's get looking at those support roam timers here because you get a Senna roaming around versus a Nautilus, and it can get dangerous. APA though, of course, has had quite a lot of words.
How did CryEngine mute him twice?
I also just love how Sven muted him, and he's on his team.
Yeah, no, he did that the very first series that they had as well. I remember we had the pop-up, but very clearly Quad didn't have a mute because Quad was typing out whole sentences talking to APA and doing the real-life emotes. But APA actually didn't even respond to him. It's kind of messed up. Maybe like APA also muted.
It's kind of like what you guys pulled on me right there. Kind of messed up.
Well, we responded with thumbs down.
You thought your bros had your back,
No, you flashed the fist bump emoji, and we both just stood there. We are not bumping that fist. It's not happening. But right now, Cloud9 still has a lead as Thanatos wants to put the pressure onto Gakos as he reverts back to Mini Gnar. The dominance has been used here by the Renekton, APA, and Vulcan showing up. Blabber following right behind. They want to try to make a dive. Griffin's going to be here as well. Thanatos with the flash into the Ruthless Predator, and APA secures the kill before Griffin's able to find any counterpunch.
Yeah, I love the flash here. You leave no time for that Mega Gnar to come out. Instantly CC chained, stun into follow up on the hook there, so they delete him. And the timing window was so critical because you see on the minimap the reinforcements are walking on the way, but it's a good timer for Cloud9. They bring 4 people to the battle. enough to immediately take down the kill.
And it's both these plays on the top side that they've made, right? They roamed extra members for that crab. They got that. That got them the kill onto Griffin. Then they do this 4-man dive up on top side as well. I'm really curious if Cryogen's ult actually landed, in time, or if it was just a split second after Gakkos went down. Because, I was thinking as Gakkos got close to that Meganar, you can start to see, hey, maybe Senna ult lands, maybe he goes Mega, maybe everything turns around. But C9 just executed on that brilliantly.
That's why I love the, the flash. So you're leaving literally every second counts when you're trying to go for the full burst. So, Cloud9, this is a team that is very, very decisive, and we've seen that a lot, especially this year. And them also implementing APA into the lineup, who also has had no hesitation on a lot of plays. We'll see if they can keep that up, because it's important, especially versus FlyQuest, who this young team, they are down to scrap, and they are down to fight. So you can't leave any second open.
Well, APA knocks the crust off of the turret, grabs himself a free plate. That's going to build that gold lead up to 1.2 thousand, and we have less than a minute on the clock until the next Drake spawns. The first one, of course, went over to FlyQuest. That was the trade that C9 got the grubs for. Do you think that we're going to get a battle over the second Drake, or is it mostly just going to be a sure take it type of situation?
Well, I mean, we do have single item completion, so
yeah, lots of Trinity forces.
It's a possibility, but honestly, with the momentum that Cloud9 has right now, if you don't have vision, I wouldn't risk anything. Second dragons are fairly low value, and it's pretty easy to trade a little bit of gold elsewhere on the map. So I would not compromise positioning for a team fight in order to do it. If an opportunity presents itself, okay, fine. I
definitely agree. I think the one caveat I might give is that it's nice to be able to put pressure on dragon stacking, right? Against a team with Senna, Scion, Ryze, you don't want to give that team too much time to just kind of delay. And if FlyQuest gets the first 2 dragons, even if C9 were to get the next 3, you're giving them so much time to scale up. So C9, at least considering it, they are in the area here and seeing if there's an angle for them to contest.
Okay, Blabber's nearby, does have level 11 here on the Zehen compared to just level 9 on Griffin's Wukong. He's 90% of the way filled on the EXP bar, but that doesn't give you the level, that doesn't give you the stats or the skill point, and that's Infernal Drake secured by Blabber and C9.
Yeah, Griffin went to take a little look there, clones over the back to see, oh, can I get a cheeky little smite steal here, but no opportunity, and it's going to cost him his flash, so no flash for the next Wukong ultimate usage, which is kind of a big power spike, Trinity Force and ultimate being ready, and so flash is a pretty...
Gakkos. He could be in some trouble here.
Yeah, and now no previous... Rage charged up.
There goes Blabber. APA ready to ride the Weaver's Wall right on in. Tons of damage onto Gakkos, and he is out of there. C9 is making this look easy when they attack the side lane.
Yeah, again, no hesitation, fully dive in. APA Talia has been one of his cleanest champions, and he's able to hit the seismic shove on Gakkos as Gakkos trying to get away to the other side. So nicely done.
Textbook Sahungling.
Man,
so I wish we could have a pop-up, a picture-in-picture of Isaac's face, because the whole time, as soon as the play started, you see this giant shit-eating grin on his face.
Well, now you're gonna get fined, you and Griffin.
Dear Mark Merrill, I would like to report a sale, not Kobe. He said the bad word, but because Isaac said the other word.
The fans. Yeah. I feel like the fans are gonna be with me on this one.
Yeah.
They're gonna be with me on this one.
I'm not gonna leave that fist bump hanging.
Right,
no one likes a bully. You guys are ganging up,
But also no one likes a troll, and you are trolling.
Yeah, you are living under the bridge right now.
Chat, who are you siding with? Would you rather have the troll or... Wait a second, we got Thanatos. Croc in the bush.
I think... Okay, hold on.
Crocodile in the bush.
Yep. It didn't turn out to be a whole lot. No play gets made there, but the follow-up play might be ready. Vulcan coming around for the pincer attack. Drops the depth charge, but there's not enough burst there from APA's Talia to finish off the kill. Quad survives.
Yeah, nice roam by Cryogen, able to help out Quad in that situation. If they had kept Thanatos, but Gakkos on the bot side's in trouble.
Yeah, Gakkos again going to be the target,
man.
and there they go. Plenty of damage between Thanatos and Blabber to secure that kill. Meanwhile, topside, here's the dive. There's the payoff. They end up securing the kill as now the turret shots aiming to take down Vulcan. Masu shows up, wants to get something back here onto APA. Cryogen takes the Vulcan kill. He wanted to remain there and execute himself, give that kill over to the support versus a more valuable member of the enemy team. Still a 6-3 game for C9 with nearly a 4,000 gold lead.
Yeah, Cloud9 attacks on side lanes. Wait a second.
We're not done just yet. Nice seismic shove coming in from APA over the wall as Blabber leads the charge towards Griffin. Sven's there ready to cut him off. And this is just a slaughter for C9.
And Blabber looked like he pulled him back instantly on the clone again there. Griffin is trying to get away with that clone when he sees Blabber coming in, but he just gets him with the chain, pulls him right back, and is able to knock him down again. Cloud9 are looking on point in this game. They are crushing it. 5K gold lead at 17 minutes. That is going to be tough for FlyQuest to do anything about. Oh, Cryogen's dead too.
A max range dredge line from Vulcan. Locks up Cryogen, but he does manage to escape by spending the flash.
Yeah, I mean, the mechanics on that one were clean from Blabber. His head mechanics, quite nice as he got the surprise over the top side. Meanwhile, Cloud9's gold lead is just going to the moon, fellas. There's not going to be a lot.
Past that, we're going to Mars.
There's going to be a lot of time in this one. They are destroying the side lanes, and FlyQuest just feel like because they're losing so much across the map here on both sides, that leads to those plays where, you know, they get a little bit desperate. Griffin's trying to go into enemy jungle. He's like, oh, well, I got to get something back from a losing play. But sometimes a losing play, you know, is just like sunk cost fallacy, and you just kind of have to take the loss and then start trying to limit losses rather than go for more and go for something else on the other side.
And it's kind of interesting to see Masu as well. He's kind of going more the Bruiser style build that Whipple used to always love. He has the Tunneler, he has the Iceborne, so he's not going like Sunfire into Jack Show. Yeah. He's going to be going into, you know, a much more Bruiser style build with a Titanic, very likely. And we'll see, you know, if he's going to be able to get something done. Obviously, he's still in a pretty good spot individually, but I mean, the game is kind of getting completely out of hand.
You can tell if the game's getting out of hand because you're talking about how he's in a good spot individually, but he's still down 1,000 gold compared to his counterpart. Like, C9's advantage is so powerful at this stage of the game. It only gets greater now that that top lane tier 1 turret is claimed by APA. Next Drake spawning here in 15 seconds. Thanatos going in after Quad, and the Rise just walks straight into a death trap. APA and Thanatos are going to get another one.
It's like FlyQuest are like, why aren't you guys playing fair? We're trying to go to lane here. And then Cloud9 immediately attack side lane, attack side lane, attack side lane. So nicely from them. I mean, every single timing window here for Cloud9, they're making the attack, they're making the inside play, keeping up the pressure, and a lot of that gold is coming from tower plates, which is, they've almost annihilated, they have annihilated all of the outer towers now, finished it up, and so the Drake is easy to stack at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, even with the Bard getting banned away, Vulcan feels like he has been everywhere, and Cloud9 has been off to a really hot start this year. Back-to-back, obviously, they were able to win their series, but they also got Player of the Week in Week 1 and in Week 2 with APA and Sven having standout performances. This team just feels like they are clicking immediately and looking like the top dog.
Yeah, I mean, just look also at the previous teams that they have defeated to get here. Everyone came in thinking, all right, Team Liquid also did a Korean boot camp, and so they've got a lot of time together. They've been crushing people in scrims, and so they thought, Team Liquid, look at that. That was going to be a really tough opponent. Boom, Cloud9 take them down as they destroy the jungle right now, too. And this is what's going to happen when you have a big lead like this. Take over your jungle in addition to those side lanes, but, you know, LYON as well, expected to be a top team. Cloud9 take them down. Meanwhile, FlyQuest, very good performances from them, but DSG and Shopify definitely not expected to be as high caliber of opponents, and so very curious to see how it plays out.
Interestingly, though, you know, even though DSG wasn't expected to be a top opponent, they went 2-1. They're in playoffs. They're
really
in the upper
solid
bracket.
yeah.
So
Shopify, though, we gotta call Kangas and see what's up with that.
I was gonna say, if you're reading the Kangas tier list,
Shopify also a team that they played.
Hey, Kangas put them #1.
Yeah.
That's all right. We might have to summon him up, ask him a couple questions about that prediction. But,
interrogation
investigated.
Yeah. Well, we've got C9 with a lead that has only grown since last we mentioned it. 6,500, 2-1 on the Drakes. They're just starting up Baron 21 minutes into the game.
Who are we sending in to interrogate Kangas? I volunteer Isaac because he's feeling a little.
Isaac can take him to the Zahungle, and that's where they can do the questioning. That cursed place.
Dude, that's
the Baron is claimed less than 22 minutes into the game. No contest for
You guys
Baron.
can joke about the Zahungle all you want, but it's already 2-0.
Well,
it's about to be 3-0 in pro play. That's 100% win rate.
So it might sound like we're mocking you, but we're actually helping your cause because we keep saying it.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
it's
gonna, like I said,
hold on.
it's catchy.
Guys, hold on. APA, they're trying to kill APA. He wants to get away. Oh, flashes back over the tri-brush. He escapes. Quad with the Realm Warp, thought he might be able to catch him off there, but no, APA survives. So even when FlyQuest goes for the punish play to try to slow down the Baron momentum, they can't find the angle.
Even when the Zahungle's not on screen, still winning.
Nice bug. Oh.
I wonder what happened.
Yo.
If it's just that's a meme, or if he thinks something weird did happen there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Either way, Talia's not
tell me
dead.
it's just a meme.
Yeah, but that's my guess. I feel like both of these teams are pretty meme heavy.
Yep.
Especially in a game that is 9,000 gold difference at the moment.
It's hard not to meme in a 9K
That's
diff.
when both sides are like, oh, all right, we can chat a little bit.
Yeah. That's the most important mechanics.
Oh, man, Actualizer even done now for APA.
Zahungle's on the attack.
And Griffin is on the retreat. He tries to use Cyclone to get away, but a nice use of the Dreaded Return to pull him right on back. Little center route over the wall to stop C9 from pursuing any further, but they don't need to. They have total control over the top side jungle of FlyQuest. They've already got the wave crashing into the tier 2 turret here in the top lane, and Blabber, Thanatos, and APA will have more than enough damage to knock this thing down.
Yeah, going to be hard for FlyQuest to really do anything realistically in this game. You're hoping for some massive throws, some sort of incredible engage, and they're going to go for it here. Here's the TP.
Yeah, that's the send from FlyQuest. Vulcan's going to be your first target. Flashes away. Fly still trying to engage on this. Gatghost does not have the Narbar all the way charged. Finally gets it there. Vulcan still running interference. Mega Gnar is finally transformed. FlyQuest continuing to push forward. Vulcan very low, but he ain't dead yet. Now Quad facing off against Sven. Sven gets the kill there in that fight. As FlyQuest tries to make their move, but they've already lost 2 for 1. Blabber continuing to look as APA goes forward here on the Weaver's wall. Cryogen just barely hanging on, and Sven flies forward into the enemy base. Griffin comes back and gets one in return, but the Dreaded Return takes him down. FlyQuest are ace. C9's in the base, and game 1 is erased. This one was quick work for C9.
You can say that again. C9 stomping the kids out here. FlyQuest immediately getting put back in their place. Griffin had quite a few words in the opener, but looks like Cloud9 all business here.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the most one-sided games we've had all year in the LCS, for sure. Cloud9 coming out and standing on business. They are crushing it here against FlyQuest. A really good start to the series, and FlyQuest is going to have to see if they can really bounce back, because this one looks like it's pretty much all wrapped up. FlyQuest decide, you know what, we're going to full send it. I like the choice. You may as well go for it, but APA is so ridiculously fed. Just look at the chunk on Gatghost through the TP shield, by the way.
Yeah, and their reasoning for going for this, by the way, Renekton didn't have teleport, so this is their best opportunity. It's a 5-on-4, guaranteed. We'll teleport out here, and yet you get outplayed immediately, and APA is just absolutely masterclass on this Talia. I mean, another big burst right there, takes him down. Also with his dying breath, I like the hook from Cryogen. You know, he's like, okay, fine, I'll die, but then Sven can at least kill you, and Cloud9 win the 4v5, while Renekton was just pushing bottom lane since he had no teleport.
So if I'm FlyQuest, I'm already just thinking about game number 2, because I don't think that a 13,000 gold lead is really playable at 25 minutes into a game of League of Legends.
Luckily for them, we have seen video evidence that, you know, they have very good mental. So they'll be, we see them laughing it off and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, look for round 2. Maybe at times like these, you play the game of like, all right, we just put a target on one person's back, and we'll call it a mental win if we can just kill APA one time. Let's just, everybody full send. There's no like Zonias or anything. APA is full damage. So I don't know if they can actually pull it off, but if you get one kill on him, then maybe that's like a bonus for next game.
Well, here comes the Weaver's Wall. Just going to stop FlyQuest from defending. Masu takes a big chunk of damage. Unfortunately, the Scion Senna combo with the cool minion root thingy did not actually end up being
They did that
able
one
to...
time, though. They can put that in like a YouTube short or something,
We got a replay of it, but that's about all we got. As C9 are now pushing down the top lane, they're going to knock down the last remaining inhibitor, and that makes this a 3-inhib game. Double super minions in every single lane here for the next 2.5 minutes. That's when those mid and bottom inhibitors will respawn. FlyQuest have to try to defend, and unless C9 just completely straight up run it down mid, it's pretty hard to lose from this position. Blabber gets himself away with the Grim Deliverance, delivering himself to safety. Okay.
He's got some good ability names.
He really does.
Dreaded Return is a cool one. I like that a lot.
Dreaded Return and Grim Deliverance. This is like the absolute value of Yunara. Yunara's abilities are all junk to say. Zehen's are so cool. Aureate Rush for his E is also sick. It's just not programmed into my brain enough to say it yet, and we also haven't had a lot of super close fights in this one. But yeah, Zehen has really good abilities. I hope we get to have more of him.
Even his passive is epic. It's like Cultivation of War. That could be like a fantasy series title.
Yeah, that sounds like a cool book. That's really hard to say in a cast.
Well, yeah, I guess you don't have to say too much for the passive. Just talk about reviving or not and stacking up all that extra AD.
He should be dead, but he's not dead because he cultivated war. All right, well, they're cultivating Baron and war. And now there's nothing FlyQuest can do about this Baron, too. The first one was free. The second one was free. The whole first game is FREEC9.
It's looking pretty much wrapped up. Triple inhib, Baron buff, double supers are coming down through bot lane. They're going to push in through mid as well as top. And they just got to keep this Baron buffed up, and it's pretty much an impossible defense when there's this many Baron minions that you have to deal with. All your focus goes to clearing them, and you can't defend the enemy champions.
All right. Just pull the Scion root play off one more time.
All right,
that's a dub.
Let's see if they can get it. This wall flies out. Super minions crash into the Nexus turrets. First Nexus turret is about to drop already. Second one deteriorating very quickly. Masu flies into the fight, donning Shadow over the top, and it doesn't do a whole lot. And now C9's ready to end the game. They've already killed off 2, and they want even more. Griffin tries to get away. Blabber's in pursuit. Cryogen's the next target. Try to return, pulls him right on back. Triple kill APA. Can they get the Penta for the C9 mid laner? Quad and Griffin both back all the way to the fountain. They want to deny the Penta Yap, but they will not deny the win. C9 stop the first game.
And as usual, APA up and immediately out of there.
He's walking fast. Lounge, what do you got to say about game number 1?
It felt like they just fell super far behind early and things only got worse. So hopefully game number 2, they've got a solution.
Good news for FlyQuest, though. We are in Fearless, so no more Zahungle. Blabber won't be able to get that again.
Also, that's good news for anyone with
me
ears.
and Kobe. Yeah.
We said it just as much as I said it, you know?
We are both very happy about that.
No, Kobe loves it. Kobe's been swayed. I should have seen the face he just made. He like wagged his tongue. What? That was crazy.
This is kind of insane.
I think he's lying right now.
Hey, by the way, the draft is on.
We need a replay. We needed cameras on this one.
Look at the draft is on. Rumble, Bard, Ziggs, and Varus. They're all bans. Okay,
that's crazy.
It's gone.
Ziggs being the most notable of the bans because APA was deathless in the previous game, and he was also smurfing in that previous game, I believe. It was a challenger among Platinums.
His Dalia is so good. I've thought for a while now it's maybe his best champion. Has been really, really effective on it, so that is going to be taken away. And we'll have to see where he wants to go and what FlyQuest want to do. You touched on it last game. I don't think FlyQuest is really going to be that affected by the previous game. They seem to just be like really good vibes. I was chatting with them before the game today, and they're just always joking around, having fun. So I don't think they're going to be too stressed.
Okay, well, with Mundo being our last ban here in the first half and Karma being the first lock over on the side of FlyQuest, absolutely, I expect to see something like Ezreal right next to it. Yeah. If you're locking Karma, you need an AD carry that's also looking to bully and push the lane.
First pick slamming though. Okay, they're laying it down really early. I mean, that would be revealing a lot of a big tell about your bottom lane being a heavy poke down there. So let's see if Cloud9 can punish it in draft. I mean, it makes me think, because it's slammed first pick, like, oh, is there some weird flex, top lane karma used to be a thing in the past? I seriously doubt it, but now my brain is kind of trying to think of, okay.
There was a lot of flex in the last game.
Yeah, now I'm kind of thinking about it.
But I just think what we're seeing is we're seeing more and more enchanters get banned and stuff, and I think they're just saying, you know what, like Karma Ezreal is actually just that OP.
Gain your lane prio.
Yeah, I mean, it is a really tough lane to deal with, and also Ezreal late game is very, very strong as well.
Yep.
Some people do really like the double tier builds, so it can scale very effectively, really hard to knock down, good range, so we'll see. I mean, if they don't select Ezreal on 3, like 2 or 3 here, then I would be really surprised. I would be really, really surprised. And then I'd be more in the Kobe camp of like, hey, maybe there's some shenanigans.
Get a little suspicious then,
yeah, something's not quite right here.
Well, on the other side, Cloud9 picked up the Azir, so we see the very common trade Azir for Orianna. Both of these champions fit into like every team composition you could ever compose a team with, so obviously.
Do we get Yunara, like Yunara Lulu, and get full on just Enchanter versus Enchanter battle? That would be interesting.
Lunara.
See,
That's way better than
Oh,
Zahungle.
Ezreal. Wow.
All right,
Wow, I can't believe it.
From now on, we can't use any normal words. Everything you say has to be 2 words combined.
That's
Okay,
too
so
much.
we got the
I disagree.
Kesriel versus
I'm drawing the line.
Zoriana
Life.
matchup mid. We've got a Zoriana mid versus...
And it is the
and then
Lulu, like I said.
Kesriel versus Lunara.
There you go. There
This
you go.
is enchanters are just OP. I think I swear
real.
by the end of the season, pro play is just going to be all enchanters and mages and stuff. I just think you get too much gold and they scale so well. I think that is where we are going, and I think as we're seeing more and more bans towards them, that's the team's kind of realizing their strength.
What about Azarma? That sounds like
Ooh, that sounds like...
fancier,
Yeah,
huh?
that actually
Doesn't that
sounds
sound
like...
cooler?
That sounds like a character from the book that Zehen
yeah.
wrote called the Cultivation of War. That's like the
Yeah,
main
it
character
does.
in that book. Azael,
Yeah.
stop shaking your head at us. This sounds like a cool book.
Honestly,
I don't know how to read, but this is what I imagine a book would be.
We're going to create an entire fantasy world here.
All right.
We are world builders.
This is the cinematic
Created the
universe.
monster. It started with Zahungle. That was the genesis of it.
Zahungle can be the cursed, like, Darklands
It was the
of this,
beginning of
this
the
fantasy
downfall.
world. Yeah, exactly. We can all trace it
it's
back.
because you pushed us over the edge with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, truly, you're the villain here.
Yeah.
Fair.
Well-
no, I accept it.
In the second half of the draft, the junglers are the villains, though, as we're taking out some of that long-range ulti potential. Pantheon and Nocturne both taken off the table here, as Gwen will be the last ban for the C9 side.
Yeah, a lot of people are traumatized by Orion and Nocturne combinations, so definitely agree with that ban. Meanwhile, the Pantheon and the Jarvan are 2 of the premier, AD jungles that are left, but like Xin and Vi, that's what I was just about to say.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with
Are
you.
still available, so it's not taking away too much.
Dude, I still remember back in 2011 or something watching a drunk Saint Vicious stream where he was playing a Mumu and he accidentally leveled Q at level 2. And just like, nobody expects a Mumu level 2 gank. It's just like you're playing Jarvan. And he goes in and he gets a kill for first blood. Jarvan is a terror early on in the lanes, in the ganks. They don't want to be dealing with that this game. But you know who else terrorizes lanes? Kazante. This guy is so difficult to deal with, and that's Thanatos' champ.
And I mean, when you have Azir, Yunara, Lulu, you need some frontline. You're team fighting. Like, you've already signed up for that. So we'll see what their last pick is going to be for Blabber. If he has some sort of like spicy pick that they want to throw down, or if they just thought that the Kazante would get taken away if they didn't grab it right there. Because Thanatos is going to be blinding it, so Gakkos has the opportunity to go for a bit of a counter.
I mean, the Zahungle was a spicy pick, so if he's already shown spice, maybe he got some more
Why
in
not
the
twice?
pocket.
Do you think it's going to be Jace jungle or Jace top?
I mean, since we already had a lane Jace yesterday, then my mind is more open to it. But Jason to Kazante, it's one of those situations like Renekton and Sion where you're like, are you really going to get that much value out of this, buddy? So I think it's going to be jungle. Trundle was recently buffed, and you can go just straight into the Kazante here. Very good into tanks. So Trundle stocks have been on the rise.
And it's also really nice playing skill shot champs with Trundle, because you throw down the pillar, they're mega slowed. Karma, RQ, the Ezreal Qs come out, the J Shock Blast. It's very hard to dodge that if you don't have a dash. So champions without a dash have to be very, very careful to not just get knocked down. and it is going to be Blabber. I think it's going to be the like Echoes of Helia heal style build.
Yeah,
okay.
And I think it's going to be used, because I saw your face, Flowers, it's not going to be used to just like dominate. I think it's going to be speed clearing, counter ganking the Trundle, and then heal and poke, answer what the poke style is on the other side, and just kind of heal through that with Luden's Echoes of Helia. That's my prediction.
I like that better.
I think he's going to do it exactly like he did it versus TL. Because they had a 0 on that team as well. So I think it's just
maybe without the getting solo killed by Orianna. He'll skip that part.
They nerfed phase rush, so maybe it won't happen
And
again.
it is a QUD mid laner. There's one letter different. You know, he got solo killed by Quid.
Yeah.
I feel like my brain just short-circuited. I was like, what does QUD mean?
He got solo killed by Quid Orianna.
You think it's like some
close to
Latin
Quad,
abbreviation?
I thought
like
it was
QED?
like quick utter destruction or something. I'm like, what does this stand for? I know practically every acronym in this game, but I've never heard this garbage
Maybe
before.
you're just losing your touch. Didn't know the acronym.
Yeah, I'm
You're
too
slow
old.
on the Zhongle. You're not quick on the uptake with the QUD mid laners.
Yeah, I guess I'm just slipping.
Well,
in my old age.
the clue was the last time that they played this versus TL.
Quid
Orianna. Yeah.
See, Kobe's got my back. He's trying to slip me the answers to the test underneath my desk. Just be like, just answer this stuff.
Kobe's just like, all right, Grandpa, let's get you to bed. He just wants to settle you down, you know?
Well, we'll see if Cloud9 can put FlyQuest to bed in this one, or if Fly is going to fight back. Last game went so south, so quick for the FlyQuest squad as C9 got their advantages early. So this time around, let's see how well what we're expecting the Echoes of Helia and Italy, how well that can play, how well that can perform.
It looked very nice the last time he did it. His sustain was quite good. Bottom side, though, their sustain not so good.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's barrier and still down to 200 HP for Masu.
I think we say this literally every single Yunara game, but level 1 Yunara with your Q,
she's nasty.
You get your Q stacked, and you can just let her rip.
I mean, I loved how they played the initial trade, but you don't want the extended fight, right? Like, they land a couple Qs, they get the chunk, great, you force out a potion, you're winning. But then his Q's fully stacked, he gets lethal tempo running. You do not win that, or even close. So, I mean, to pick for a first pick Karma, to go Ezreal Karma, 4 lane dominance, and then to lose barrier, heal, 2 potions, well, 1 potion each, 2 potions at level 1, and now you're going to get pushed in.
Well, the good part is at least it also cost the Ghost and the heal for Sven and Vulcan. So all of the non-flash summoner spells are down for both sides here in the bottom lane. We'll see if that draws the ire of the junglers, who are both starting on the top side of the map and pathing towards the bot lane. You can see the Orianna for quad there in the mid lane. Our QUD mid laner has the early push, so that'll be APA not having control just yet.
You're already starting to sound like a fantasy author. If it draws the ire of the junglers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got to be very creative with my wording.
I just imagined an Eye of Sauron popping up, and it has flowers. You called it. Griffin's ire.
They've drawn the ire of Griffin as he makes his way slowly towards the bottom lane. It's first blood back over to C9, though, as they get the kill first. They will not be able to equalize it at 2 for 2 as Masu barely stays alive. FlyQuest comes out on top.
Yeah, Cryogen kind of messed that up. He went for the tether flash, but he flashed late, so the tether was already broken as he flashed, because Sven really quick flash, so that ended up making it a little bit sketchy. Sven, as a result, is able to get first blood before he goes down, so that really does kind of save the play, because now Sven has a decent buy. Like, he's in a way better position than he should be, and Griffin sacrificed a lot of time to do that.
Yeah, it's nice. The extra 300 gold, the concentrated resources. Blabber is level 4 though, and there's a crab on my screen.
Exactly, he wants the crab, but unfortunately, the crab is controlled by FlyQuest.
New Blabber got the crab.
Uh-oh, new Blabber Crabber. As Blabber tries to continue harassing Cryogen here. That spear sidestepped by the FlyQuest support. And it looks like C9's not done yet. Blabber's looking for even more. What?
You can only get hit by so many spears, Flowers, before you go down.
Yeah, well, that's certainly the lesson we've learned here today.
The number was only 2 in this case as well. Blabber, level 4, yeah, you stole my crab, but that just enrages Blabber. And then he chases your support into the jungle. Exactly.
Phase 2 of the boss fight.
He's enraged.
The music changes, the lyrics are in Latin now.
Yeah, I beat the boss, and you're, the music gets all intense, you know? You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, no, it's the Elden Ring experience.
Exactly, yeah.
It's phase 2.
Exactly, phase 2. You're like, oh crap, I gotta log back in. You're out of potions. Nice roll from Vulcan as well. Got the little slow down on Cryogen and results in a kill. I mean, that's all kind of tied into that play going bad on the bot side as well, which is going to mean Blabber's in a great spot.
You always want to be ahead of the game on the Nidalee. This champion feels so bad to play from behind. And of course, if he continues to build towards what we were expecting and be that like healing style battery, it can just make the whole team feel impenetrable as they try to contest for objectives with the game going forward. As APA tries to shuffle around here, find a little bit of trading onto his lane opponent. There's the heal used in the bottom lane by Cryogen as well on this Karma. 2 deaths already, but he also has the assists on both the team's kills. So just needs to play maybe a little bit more carefully.
And I would also be looking at this mid lane now, because usually for Azir Orianna matchups, you want to try and blow this Orianna flash very close to your level 6. Otherwise, you know, then you can be like, all right, fine. IPA will just say, I'll try and do it myself in lane and then have jungle come to visit. But we are hitting the level 6 breakpoints here for both of them. And Quad has done a nice job up there while Blabber is back on bottom.
Okay, Blabber wants to make it 0-3 for Cryogen. One more jump forward, and he's already got the kill. Masu tries to escape, does get back to the safety of the tier 1 turret, but C9 finds their mark yet again.
I mean, Blabber's on a great start, and there's APA forcing that flash that you were talking about, Kobe. Quad had been laning really, really well. Up 10 CS, maybe you can kill him.
Yeah, the shockwave onto APA, forcing the flash back from the Emperor of Shurima, so no flash either way here in the mid lane.
And it's worth noting, Quad is playing common. He's not playing phase rush, so a little bit more lane focused in the setup there. And was able to open up an 11 CS lead. It is a trade of flashes, but of course, Orianna more vulnerable without the flash than Azir is.
And the bottom lane is the biggest vulnerability here. This Karma first pick that they slammed on red side has just been targeted by Blabber after they expended so many resources in the early gank that they did down there, and not quite getting everything they wanted. This Nidalee's just been on a tear, and Nidalee is such a quick moving champion through the brush, hopping around, gets to play the map very nicely. Right now you can just kite Trundle back until APA gets there, continue to pelt damage. Nicely done so far from Blabber, stacking his Conqueror, getting his health advantage. Another one lands, and Blabber!
The flash forward needs one more hit to kill off Griffin, and he secures the kill, but now Gakkos wants to get something back. Thanatos ready to answer here with the Cassante, goes forward, goes all out. Gakkos now in danger. Spear doesn't collide, and that means that Gakkos stays alive. Accelerated Shock Blast takes Blabber low, but that doesn't count. Nice play again from C9's Nidalee.
You better stay away from those crabs, little Griffin. I mean,
can you repeat that?
people were calling Griffin, you know, the new Blabber, right?
Yeah.
But it looks like old Blabber's the one who's the king of the crabs.
Yeah, I mean, Griffin was joking around, talking some trash. Well, it's looking like Unk's still got it, because Blabber is running the show in back-to-back games. This one, he has just been everywhere on the invades, nails the spear, flashes in, kills off Griffin, and then Gakkos has to flash out, and honestly could have gotten taken down here if things went a little bit differently. C9 already running away with it in game 2.
Yeah, Blabber just lands every spear on Griffin. He kites back nicely, stacking up the Conqueror. Like, these extended fights, you kind of pointed out versus a Yunara, who's also stacking lethal tempo, but then Blabber stacking here too, and the mobility on Nidalee, he kited so nicely, using his teammates as well. So Cloud9 and Blabber specifically having a big one. The Nidalee haters, Flowers, are not having the best hate watch.
No, exactly. My hate has subsided for now. We will see how well he can transition this into the mid-game, since he is the primary lead on his team. Individual gold lead of just about 500, but you can see other leads for particularly the solo laners on FlyQuest. Gakkos and Quad are going to be the ones to try to bring this game back in FlyQuest favor, and right now it's Griffin and Quad starting up the Drake, as Cryogen and Masu are trying to guarantee nobody from C9 can make their way over.
All right, well, they pull the Dragon out, so they're not going to be any cheeky like, oh, I'm going to try and, you know,
throw some crap over the wall.
Yeah, exactly. Get some random steal. So nicely done there. At least FlyQuest do secure themselves that dragon.
Uh-oh, is Thanatos going to get a solo kill right now? Gak goes down to 58 HP. Thanatos will force him away, but he won't force the kill.
And if you remember Thanatos' Cassante from last time, he's stacking chain vests. Last time he was stacking chain vests and cloaks. Now he's just stacking the vests. So is going to be really effective. You just have so much early armor. And as funny as it can look, really, really powerful against the Jace, especially when he is going lethality.
Yeah.
And already he is kind of running that lane, so Gakko's going to get put down. And even though the gold is very close, I'm very scared for FlyQuest because you're looking at Cassante, Azir, Yunara, Lulu, so much powerful scaling.
And plays like that are rewarded in the new patch on the new year, because even though you don't get your solo kill, you're guaranteed money from the crystals on the turret plate. So it doesn't ruin your tempo. You just, oh, I pushed him out of lane, and yeah, I didn't kill him. I wish I would have killed him, but at least you can very quickly get one.
Ooh, and they're going to get Quad right now. APA goes in for the shuffle. Quad flashes away, and he stays alive. FlyQuest ready to reinforce their mid laner and turn things right back around. Nicely played as Cryogen and Griffin show up, save the day, and get 2 kills for their trouble.
Oh, the Avengers assemble. Quad barely saved there. He flashes at the last moment with maybe 100 HP, probably even less. And the heal plus the shields here come in from Cryogen, and the counter gank is there.
Yeah, he's going to be able to barely survive. But this was so nicely set up. Azir wall, perfect into the spear while he's still in the air.
Yeah.
And then Quad, his flash comes up as he used it. Just came up right there.
And that was way less than 100. That was probably single digits. You see a tiny, tiny HP there, plus a red buff burning him.
Meanwhile, back on live, it's Griffin showing up here in the top lane, wants to go after Thanatos. Cassante goes all out, tries to get a kill back! Beautifully played from C9 as the third and Tofo strike threatens the knockback, and now Griffin has to flash away. Thanatos flexing his muscles here a little bit.
That was really nicely done there by Thanatos. Gets the damage down. Sven in some trouble.
Yeah, Sven gets hit by the second part of the Mantra Inner Flame. Masu's Mystic Shot doesn't hit over the wall, but Quad's coming down into the bottom lane now, throws the ball into the brush. Vulcan's still hanging around. Sven has fully retreated, and it looks like C9's bottom lane's going to get out of danger. Even though it's still a 5-4 game for C9, FlyQuest has the very slight gold advantage.
By the way, got confirmation from observers. It was 8 health there on Quad, barely surviving with that counter. Meanwhile, though, yeah, the counter from Cloud9 on the top side of the map, they got one back themselves, and now Cryogen has to flash again.
Stays alive, though. Meanwhile, mid lane, APA also forced to flash away. Quad's Shockwave would have sealed his fate without that summoner spell. So again, it's the Azir vulnerable in mid lane.
Yeah, putting a lot of pressure on mid lane on both sides. And I mean, definitely impressive by Quad. And it is a cosmic insight difference. I was thinking he had it because he was Inspiration Secondary. He used that flash the split second it came up, 18 summoner spell haste on that rune. That's what saved him.
Every second counts, and every little tick of HP as well. Very, very nice game here, because after game number 1, I'm sure there were some people worried that this whole series might be blasting, but FlyQuest in this one looking way more competitive.
It's me. I'm people. Yeah, I was very concerned after game number 1 because FlyQuest just never stood a chance from laning through team fighting, objectives. All of it was C9 in game 1. But here in game number 2, FlyQuest definitely has a better look as they put pressure onto the bot lane tier 1 turret. They knock off the third plate. Masu and Cryogen now falling back as Sven and Vulcan have another minion wave to reinforce their defenses. But FlyQuest, I'm liking what I'm seeing here. They are going to have to continue to get a lot of value out of their poke, though, as the game goes on. Azale, you already mentioned the powerful scaling on the C9 side. So for FlyQuest, I feel like that burden of execution will be higher. It
will. It'll be really high. It's kind of interesting, though, because neither team has true hard engage. Like, APA can go in for a shuffle. You can try to set things up. C9 has really powerful scaling, really high DPS, but they have to be able to get in on FlyQuest. So he's going to try to soften you up with poke nonstop, kite back with Karma Mantra shields, and try to play this kind of slow, methodical style. If they try to run forward and hard engage, well, Trundle can just pillar out the back line and you can focus down that front line. So there's lots of different ways the teams can play it. And I think it's going to come down so much to execution, because if C9 can get a hold of them and get that maximum DPS, you have to think they'd crush them in the fights later on.
Okay, let's see where our next battle is going to be with 5 seconds on the clock until the next Drake spawns. 1.5 minutes until the Rift Herald rears its head. FlyQuest already got the first Drake. They could try to get this second one here and continue that stacking because a poke comp that's at the neutral objective first is so scary to try to face check into.
Okay, let's see. Making the map dark, and Masu's going to face check the first brush here, try and work his way in. There's still some time for FlyQuest.
Oh, APA goes in and he finds the shuffle, only onto Cryogen, though. A lot of burst onto the Karma, and the enemy support is down, but APA might just be traded away. That's a trade that FlyQuest will be happy with. C9 now going to be forced back. Masu looks for even more DPS, but Sven returns some of his own. Arc of Ruin tags Quad and Griffin, but Sven has to be a little bit careful here. Both top laners still up there on their island. Thanatos has teleport, Gakdos does not.
Oh, let's see if they continue. Quad here trying to position around. Wow, mid lane pressure achieved by Sven in the aftermath, trying to push in and get the last little bit of this turret plate. They actually push them off after that trade of kills where APA goes in. It's the Azir sacrifice does get pushed back here.
Yeah, look at how much buffing there is on Sven, though. He gets the speed up, the heal from the Nidalee, the Ardent Sensor buff. It's about 100% attack speed that he's getting in buffs between Ardent Sensor, Lulu W, and the Nidalee E. So when he has that lethal tempo stacked as well, Sven is crushing
He's
him.
gliding, man. This guy is going crazy in the team fight. But hey, it ultimately works out for FlyQuest as now Griffin just has access to the Drake.
Yeah, because, you know, they're trading basically. Despite him having so many buffs, it's only a 1-for-1 since Azir going in and sweeping just the Karma, but then still being melee range of the Trundle. They were able to take him down, and teleport used on the top side. That's going to be 4-person power play here from Cloud9. Sending 4 people up to the top side, try and get that pressure for APA Azir.
Yeah, but it might still just be first turret over to the other side, as you've already seen Quad down there in the bottom corner of your screen. He'll take out the tier 1 turret in the bottom lane, get the reward for that one. So FlyQuest continuing to just be slightly faster as C9 will at least pick up the Herald.
And Masu's pushing in mid. There's only one plate on the mid lane tower as well, so that one's pretty vulnerable here too. Sven will be over to defend it. But Gakko's back up towards the top side, has TP'd back out on the map, and has Cryogen and Griffin around. So APA gonna have to be the one who is a little bit careful at this point, but APA has vision on the Trundle as he walks over that ward.
APA will just shuffle away from that one. He's feeling fine.
Cannon minion's gonna die.
RIP, -1. Hey, they're worth less this season. It doesn't feel as bad.
Okay, I feel better. I feel better.
Doesn't feel as bad. You're fine. You're chilling. Echoes of Helia done alongside the Ludens for Blabber's Nidalee. I said that the pressure is going to be on this champion, on Blabber in particular, to be able to make sure that he's still relevant and powerful and setting things up in the mid-game. And unfortunately for him, he's actually now slightly behind in gold compared to Griffin.
I will say, though, with this build, I think it's a lot easier to have impact, as Thanatos is going to have to flash that pillar, just because you can kind of just sit there as a buff bot.
Ooh, Masu under pressure now. The Arc of Ruin from Sven, forcing Masu to get all the way out of there with the flash committed, but Sven also having to flash away from the turret range.
I like how aggressive Sven is looking, but Griffin also likes that.
Yeah, Griffin wants to try to get the kill onto the Yunara, and the True Shot Barrage guarantees it alongside the pillar. FlyQuest making their moves heard here in the mid lane. They'll pick up the tier 1 turret as well.
Yeah, Sven and Vulcan played that pretty well on the retreat. Good timing on the wild growth, good dash back, but it just didn't matter. Griffin flashes right in, uses the ulti, has the pillar, has the True Shot Barrage. They finish him off. Masu.
Oh, that spear went so close. But it does not land, so Masu's fine, and he gets to pick up the mid wave. I mean, sometimes you're so focused on the play, the fight that you're having, which was definitely the case here in mid lane. They're mechanically intensive fight, so you're really focused there. And then Griffin just shows up. We've all been there. Jungler shows up and flashes on you. Take him down and allows FlyQuest here. 2 dragons, a marginal gold lead for themselves, but they also have a lot of the poke really coming online now. We have the Muramana transformation for Ezreal. So, when you got your 2-item power spike, your Trinity Force, and your Muramana transformed, maybe now we'll get to see the power of the Jace plus Ezreal and Karma poke actually come together and make use of the Trundle pillars, slow people down so you can land that poke, and they can actually get some big health trades beforehand.
FlyQuest are also just building up a lot of move speed. You know, when you think about Trundle, you have Frozen Domain, he built Swift East, he's going towards Deadman's, you have Acceleration Gate, and you have Karma speed-ups with his shields. So they're going to have a lot of move speed to kite in, chase down, you know, utilizing those pillars as well, utilizing the speed-ups even from the Orianna. So they have a lot of tools to try to navigate these fights, and I think it's going to be really exciting to see how they're able to do it.
Sven is just bloodthirsty again, going back after Masu. Arc of Ruin once more used, means he's already transcended, so the ulti down for Yunara should dissuade C9 from looking for larger fights until the cooldown's ready again.
And they actually collapse from topside too, so that leaves Jace alone at the tower. Gakko's going to eat up a little bit himself. Very nice for him. Some minions drop into the tower there for Thanatos, losing out on a couple. And Jace also getting some tower plate money. Now you're going to also have to deal with a 2-item Jace fairly soon. And we'll see about the amount of damage raining down. Flashes, though, are coming at a premium. And Sven still looking aggressive, jumping in constantly onto Masu's Ezreal. Neither of them have flashes. Bottom side, though, APA can just remake his own tower. So even with a lot of people down here, it should feel pretty safe.
Okay, 38 seconds on the clock until we get the next Drake. Even less than that until the Baron. Remember that in game number 1, it was C9 just forcing a Baron uncontested at 21.5 minutes on the clock. I don't think we're going to see the same thing here in game number 2.
I mean, may have just jinxed it, but it was like a 7K gold lead at this point last game or thereabouts. So we're in for a much better game 2. Potentially a game 3 if FlyQuest can bring us there. As you can see, Vulcan taking a bit of poke, and this is how FlyQuest wants to play it out. They need to play it slow. They need to slowly whittle them down, utilize their move speed, don't allow C9 to get in on them. And
we'll see how strong Blabber's healing is at battling the poke, because this Nidalee that they were able to pick up after seeing a lot of the poke, you know, does have the Echoes of Helia done, so see how much sustain they can bring to the long standoffs. It looks like they're trying to threaten that Baron Flowers because of the dragon opposite side of the map. Cloud9 trying to pull the rest of FlyQuest resources and threaten, but FlyQuest, they're saying, nah, go ahead and start it. We're going to keep Trundle on that dragon until we finish it.
Yeah,
I mean, trying to do Baron against 4 pokers,
go ahead.
There's no shot.
That's
nobody's buying that bluff.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Trundle is great at soloing down the Drake. Everybody else just has non-stop projectiles to pelt you with in the Baron pit. I can see what C9 was thinking, but I also wouldn't think that myself.
Yeah, I will say, though, if they get a little bit of alone time, with the amount of attack speed buffs they have for Yunara, the amount of DPS that APA is going to do on the Azir, they will melt that Baron. So it definitely is something that FlyQuest have to respect, but they were well aware of this one, and there was no shot C9 was going to get away with it.
So how are we feeling now about the state of things with 3 Drakes to nothing, favoring FlyQuest? Masu again shifting away from Sven. 4.5 minutes from now, Cloud9 is going to have to stop their opponents from getting the Drake, otherwise it's Ocean Soul.
Yeah, I think 100% will get there early and ahead of time. So that you can definitely look forward to that one.
Okay.
as far
I want to see a good fight.
As far as the team fights go. Until then, I guess one of the big questions is going to be this constant mashup of AD carries in mid lane. Sven constantly is getting the push onto Masu and forcing Masu to back off. So it's slowly giving him some alone time on the tower. And slowly but surely, Cloud9 are wearing away at that mid lane defense. Of course, FlyQuest already took their mid lane tower, but we'll see if anything comes of this before the very epic Dragon Soul fight that we have. There's possibilities of like chasing down in the long lane on the side lane, or these AD carries fully committing to some of these fights. They both have flashes back up now, though.
I do really feel like if C9 doesn't stop the Soul, though, they are probably just cooked. It's
we're fighting that for sure.
Yeah, like you have got to be able to not only just try to fight that, but win it for sure. So, so much comes down to the setup. I think both teams are going to be here very early, fighting for vision, fighting for mid lane prio, which has been the story of these last couple minutes. And, you know, the last Dragon, C9 kind of quickly gave that up. They ate a Shock Blast or 2, and then they just kind of backed it up. This time, they're going to have to force their way in, whether they like it or not. You've got to try to fight. You can't give over Ocean Soul to this team, or it's just going to be nonstop. I don't think they're going to have enough to actually deal with it.
And this game has been so close for all 22.5 minutes of play. Masu trying to get away yet again. Thanatos wanted to flash third in Tofo strike there for the knockback, but Masu evades it. So C9 will at least grab that tier 1 turret they've been working on for so long, but Thanatos does spend a very valuable summoner spell that will not be ready to go again before the Drake.
Yeah, and Quad, meanwhile, just splitting top. I mean, he is getting quite strong himself. Has a Shadow Flame, has the Ludens, has the tier 3 Sork boots, so is going aggressive. And is going to have a ton of damage on that Shockwave combo when he's able to get it in. APA, a bit behind, you know, still on those 2 items, but it is a Rylai's, which is obviously that cheaper item, a bit more about the control, which I think makes a lot of sense in this kind of composition. He has the Oblivion Orb, he has the Rylai's. You just want to make sure your team is hitting. Like, they have enough DPS. You just kind of utilize that control to maybe get a little bit something extra.
Yeah, make some more time in positioning for Yunara.
Yeah, you've got the Oblivion Orb to cut down the Trundle healing, since that's really the only potential frontliner on the enemy team. Seeker's Arm Guard also completed here for Blabber. Big potential item for that upcoming fight that is now less than 2 minutes away. Muramanas are fully evolved for both Gakgos and Masu, too, on the FlyQuest side. So this fight's going to be spicy.
Sven just got his IE. That was huge. I was just checking how much gold he had in pocket, and he just went back, bought the IE. So that is the spike that I think C9 was really waiting for. Now you have Ardent Sensor buff, Lulu W buff, the Primal Surge buff from the Nidalee, the Lethal Tempo, and these 3 items with the crit multiplier. He is going to be ridiculously strong if he can actually be connecting and hitting his targets.
And Lulu, you know, has the extra speed up of the Shurelias being completed as well. So many speed buffs for their side in addition to FlyQuest having their own. So we'll see if that will be enough to kite back or not. But they're going to put the pressure right back on Baron.
Okay, C9 clears out some of the wards, and they are just going to start the Baron up right now. FlyQuest moving towards the area, but they're not moving quickly.
Late.
Is this just the heist that C9 needed? They're going to get this before the Drake even spawns, and Baron goes over to C9.
Blink and that thing is gone, but can you get out alive?
Yeah, Griffin is moving forward, trying to chase after them. C9 staying grouped up together. Griffin is going to take a shot from Sven there, but you've got a 0 on your team. You can summon up the Sun Disc and have a place of safety.
Baron Power recalls are important because the Dragon Soul is in 20 seconds, Flowers. 19 seconds, teleporting right back out. It looks like with the double teleports and the Baron Empowered recalls, Cloud9 will have some people around to try and contest this from FlyQuest. The Dragon still 7 seconds away. C9 have arrived.
They even got the push out bot, APA TP there, so they are a little bit split. They need to get together.
Okay, FlyQuest do have control over the pit right now, but they are not going to start a video check. Sven got caught! He nearly dies, but he stays alive. FlyQuest want to try to commit into the Yunara now. Thanatos here on the front line, tries to get away himself. Griffin continuing to try to chase. Blabber over the wall. Sven staying alive there is absolutely critical. He goes over the wall to try to DPS the Dragon down and stop the Ocean Drake. Accelerated Shock Blast from Gakgos does not find a target. Masu has to get over the wall to escape from Thanatos. Griffin's going to be your target now. Thanatos and Sven both still alive as the Ocean Drake is claimed by C9. Blabber goes back over. He's looking for Masu, but he won't quite find him. Arcane shift back into the pit from the FlyQuest AD carry. Sven still looking for a little bit more flash away from Masu. Holy cow!
Man, that healing from Blabber meant so much in that fight. He had a heal over the wall on Sven for over 600, it looked like. That was ridiculous. Sven barely survived and he was split from the team. If he went down, that is probably just lights out for C9, but he stays alive. The team all piles in to protect him. They get the Dragon, and now the scaling really starting to kick in.
That was so close to being a series-saving pick from FlyQuest. Getting that huge pick onto Sven, but you didn't have the last tiny bit of damage to finish it off, so it meant nothing. It was such a huge emotional swing there from the possibility of getting the pick into Dragon Soul and then everything being taken away by Cloud9 because Sven survives with the help of his team.
And I feel like in those situations, you always are going back and thinking, could we have done a little bit more damage? Did I miss something? Was there something I should have done differently? Did I need to flash in for an auto faster, right? Because once he doesn't instantly die, Wild Growth, Shield, Summoner Heal, the heal from Nidalee, everything piles in, right? So you kind of have this slim window where you got to one-shot him.
Hold on, Masu's just about to drop here now as C9 wants to go aggro. Sven is down to about half HP, but the Shockwave doesn't hit him, it just barely misses. Thanatos staying alive now too, trying to flash away. Wild Growth back onto Sven, but Thanatos is down. Sven trying to fire, Griffin's still alive and he's moving forward. Gets the chomp on Sven, drains his AD just a little bit, but now Sven is still firing. Arc of Ruin and a Gakgos the entire time. APA is still up here in the top lane. tier 2 turret topside, traded away for Thanatos in the mid lane, and C9 does not want to allow FlyQuest to regroup. They're going to continue their push.
Yeah, it looked like APA actually cancels his recall too. He was going for a recall after taking the tower, but wants one more wave here. Knows he has the time to get the extra money.
All right, let's see if FlyQuest can keep this defense going here on the tier 2. It's just barely still standing. Sven's still hanging around.
I'm not going to lie, this Nidalee is looking insanely powerful. Blabber is doing so much work in these fights because it's not just the shielding from Vulcan. Sven can go so aggressive with no lifesteal in his build yet, take a ton of damage, and then he's just catching these heals for around 600 from Blabber every time. You know, buffing him up, healing him back to full, and it is meaning so much of this poke just isn't really doing that much.
That is rough stuff, man. If you're FlyQuest, you're playing the poke comp, you need to chip this guy down, and it's just not possible. Still 2 minutes on the clock until our next Drake spawns, but critically, it's about 10 seconds desynced from the Baron, so that always creates a very interesting situation on the map in terms of what you want to value, what you want to prioritize, and I'm curious how C9 is going to pilot it since they're the ones who, again, are going to have to stop the Soul.
Okay, early warding and vision here. Cloud9 moving in to take over this setup on this bottom side. They can push between mid lane and bottom lane very, very safely, controlling the jungle, putting some extra pressure here, making it hard for FlyQuest to maneuver.
Yeah, Masu also getting the Endless Hunger, which a lot of people see as kind of more of a snowball-y style item, but does have a lot of Omni-Vamp on there, especially you start getting some kills. You really can kind of ramp up, and has been a very aggressive back-and-forth game, lots of trading, so maybe just feeling it's worthwhile to go for that instead of, you know, getting an earlier Cyrildas or Shojin or something like that.
All right, FlyQuest, it feels like things are getting a little bit scary right now. They are mostly confined to their base as Quad tries to push out the bottom lane. Less than 1 minute on the clock now for Baron. Very similar time frame on the Drake. And it's C9 with control over the bot side river. And look at all the wards, all the vision they have placed in the enemy jungle leading up. They want FlyQuest to be a little bit paranoid, a little bit scared about approaching.
All right, so that Blabber heal on himself looks like it basically negates an empowered shock blast worth of damage.
Kind of crazy.
And then since he also had been hit by the Ezreal ult, then just one more heal for himself and basically topped right back off. No problems for them. Mid-wave control, this push getting taken by FlyQuest first, but the double teleports from Cloud9 have arrived, and they're ready to tango.
Okay, Blabber takes a little bit of poke right there, but again, the heals are going to make sure that C9 stays healthy. Sven gets away from the pillar. FlyQuest has control over the bot side river.
Quad getting chunked out there, though. Some poke damage onto the Orion is very meaningful. It's going to force Quad to go back to base. He does have teleport, though.
And Sven uses ult there to actually jump over the pillar, so he has no ult, which is quite big, but they're just going to try to rush down the Baron, and FlyQuest aren't even responding. It's gone.
Exactly. FlyQuest are saying if they're going to grab the Baron, kill the Drake as soon as it spawns, secure the Ocean Soul. So now the pressure will be on C9 to get something big, something meaningful out of this Baron since FlyQuest will claim the Soul.
Yeah, because Dragon Soul, Ocean Soul on a poke team is very big, is very meaningful. Now, there is plenty of healing reduction with the double Oblivion Orbs from Blabber and APA on the opponent team. So Cloud9, maybe they're like, all right, well, we already have some healing cuts, and maybe they're not as worried about it, but it's still going to provide some value there for a poke team that is usually very nice.
I mean, Ocean Soul is always really, really strong. They do have incredibly high DPS, so they definitely can DPS through it. The Trundle's going to be, I think, the real difficulty because he is pretty tanky. If the Azir and the Yunara do get on the Ezreal or someone like that, Ocean Soul's not going to save them, so maybe that's kind of the thought process.
Big chunk from the spear there. Blabber knocks Masu down to about half HP. The Ezreal, of course, with that Endless Hunger you mentioned earlier, Isaac will be able to regen some of that, but C9's Baron push is looking to kick in the front door of the base here for FlyQuest. That tier 3 turret in mid lane will collapse thanks to the Baron-empowered minion push. Meanwhile, topside, APA has summoned up the Sun Disc, and he's pressuring that lane as well. That inhibitor turret is already down to half HP.
Yeah, Cloud9 getting a lot of value here from their choice to go for the Baron, and they're keeping up the pressure.
Masu down to about 1/3 as Thanatos goes in, and they're looking to go all out. They find the burst onto Griffin, but that's the tanky member of FlyQuest. He's dropped low, but he's not dropped dead here just yet. Shockwave defensively. Thanatos hanging on. Blabber goes golden into the stasis. Nobody on C9 dead just yet. The heals are doing the job. Sven goes in, but Sven dies. Absolutely huge. FlyQuest hold the line.
And the long fight, FlyQuest are able to sustain through it. Now the team with Ocean Soul is on the hunt. Shock Blast hits.
Okay, APA, he's gonna be your target now. Pops his stasis, but there's no way out. Both carries dead on the C9 side.
That was so crazy. Sven goes in, trying to finish off Masu, can't quite do it, gets burst down, and then this is where the Ocean Soul is gonna be huge in these long extended fights, and this is where all the move speed from FlyQuest really comes in clutch as well. Deadman's, Frozen Domain, the pillars, the Karma shields, everything, meaning you can't get out of a losing fight. So this was really risky here. Sven decides, you know what, I am going in, but he's getting hit by Gakkos and Masu at the same time, and he just gets burst through everything. Blabber and Vulcan weren't really with him in that moment to keep him alive.
Yeah, he's been going ham at Masu the entire game, constantly jumping at him, but FlyQuest now marching back, fighting their way back into this game and into this series. We have a possible banger on our hands here, fellas. FlyQuest have the opportunity to push us to a deciding third game. Cloud9, of course, they want to end it now. They want to finish this series before FlyQuest have a chance to extend it.
Look at that damage from Sven in the last team fight. Over 7K, he was pumping. I mean, this game is a certified banger. This one's going to be really fun, and I think it's very likely to come down to an Elder, and we'll have to see. I mean, Ocean Soul's not going to do a lot against Elder, so a lot of the advantages that FlyQuest have built will be nullified by that if C9 is able to secure it. But it's, again, going to be so much about the setups, and can they stay with Sven? Because he is working now towards that BT. That will help him a lot to be able to stay healthy, in addition to everything we've already been talking about with this Lulu and Nidalee buffing him up and healing him.
All right, FlyQuest still defending right now. They managed to hold the base with losing only a single inhibitor, so it's not like there's a ton of pressure just flowing in through the minion waves, considering we're 35 minutes into the game. It's... I don't remember the naming nomenclature anymore, but it's like, it's season 2026. You have a lot of power at 35 minutes into the game. One wave of super minions is very easy to deal with for this FlyQuest squad, but that does still mean, though, that C9 have control over the enemy jungle. They're going to place down this vision, and they want to keep the pressure on.
See if FlyQuest can actually pull off the comeback in this game, in this series. Because that pressure, Flowers, that goes through the roof. When you have Baron and Elder both on the map, everybody's blood pressure just rises. So FlyQuest, they of course are working with more pressure. You know, super minions are still flooding down mid lane, and so they're trying to open up at least a pathway for themselves to come check these objectives. And both epic objectives will be arriving shortly.
It's always really interesting, too, because I think that, you know, if you do an Elder for Baron trade, often the Baron team can just clear the waves and just kind of delay, let it run out. But FlyQuest don't necessarily have that advantage because their base has already been cracked, right? You know, they don't necessarily have the ability to just kind of sit back and turtle. Maybe C9, if they get the Elder, can push in and try to actually end the game, whereas C9 kind of has the option of trying to contest, or they could try to trade for Baron and say, you know, we're just going to wait out your Elder and we're just going to wave clear.
So we've also got Abyssal Mask completed for Thanatos to help magnify the magic damage of APA and Blabber, and also a little bit of Sven because of the Yunara passive, right? So I like this choice here to just guarantee that they don't have the same type of situation that FlyQuest did, where you feel like you just miss out on the kill that could have ended the game by the smallest of margins. But it's less than a minute now for both of our super buffs. C9 are prioritizing that Elder. They have control over the bottom side river. FlyQuest have made what very well might be their final purchase for this game.
It's also worth noting that FlyQuest doesn't really have any offensive heal cut. They have the Thornmail, but I'm not seeing any other ones. And now with the BT and the Nidalee healing, that's kind of problematic.
You know, FlyQuest just kind of barreling down mid lane right now. They're just taking total control over the push.
Meanwhile, push on bottom side, Azir is still pinging forward. APA is signaling, I'm going to keep split pushing. There's still time that we have before FlyQuest really get to a pressure scenario. Rest of Cloud9, actually, they come back. They're trying to defend.
Okay, mid laners both in the bottom lane. Griffin steps forward again, leading the charge for the FlyQuest side. Teleport coming in from C9. It's Thanatos. Fence here on the front line. Down to half HP, immediately healed right back up. FlyQuest has everybody joined in the fight. APA is not there for C9. He's just pushing the enemy base instead. It's a 4v5 for C9 here for the Elder. Thanatos again on the front, trying to keep everybody on FlyQuest busy. C9 is pushing in the bottom lane. FlyQuest trying to go for the Elder, go for some kind of a game win here as C9 continue to fight them. APA is DPSing the inhibitor, but it's very, very slow. Blabber jumps in, but the Elder goes over to Griffin, and FlyQuest. Blabber is dead for the next 60 seconds. Sven wants to find a kill, but he can't quite finish off Masu. As Griffin continues chasing, APA has made his way onto the Nexus turrets, and the first one will fall. The second will not be felled in time as Gakgos returns to the base.
Yeah, they make a really good call here from FlyQuest. They say, fine, we're going to go for the flip. We still have teleport for Gakgos. He'll get back after the fight, and now with Elder Dragon buff on FlyQuest, can they go for it?
It's a 5v3 for FlyQuest along with the Elder buff. They're forcing their way into the base, and that first inhibitor turret will crumble in seconds. C9 has to make a crazy defense here, but it's so difficult to do. Masu's Mystic shots could very easily be the end of anybody if they land. First Nexus turret on the under fire, taken out. Griffin goes forward, goes on a rampage. Sven is down. Ladies and gentlemen, FlyQuest, they find their way in. They take the Nexus, and we're going to game 3.
The shockwave combo there with Quad and Griffin. Griffin flashes the shockwave in onto Sven's head. They finish him off. C9 made the risky call. We're not going to team fight. We're going to try to end the game through the split push. It does not work out. Griffin nails the smite, nails the flash for the shockwave combo, and we are going to game 3. What a turnaround from FlyQuest. You want 3 games, and that gave us 3 games.
Can't make him happy. No. You know?
Yeah, if you drive to a party in a car with 3 wheels, did you not still get to go to a party?
Exactly.
That's kind of where I'm at on the ending call. But anyway, we've got our third game lined up here. C9 and FlyQuest. C9 have opted for first pick. FlyQuest are choosing then to play from red side. It's Cassio and Bard banned out by C9, with Ziggs and Jarvan banned out by Fly.
Okay, so what are we going to whittle down to here? Everybody always talks about APA's champion pool, and they did continue with the Ziggs ban here from FlyQuest, so that respect is at the very least getting paid to him. But can they actually take advantage of it? I know between APA and Quad, there is so much respect. APA, whenever asked, he always lists Quad as the #1, power ranked mid laner in the league. And so plenty of respect there. And yeah, so far this split, at the very least, APA has only played Azir and Taliyah.
Yep, and that is true for this series as well, right? So hasn't yet gone beyond that. The Ziggs is going to get banned away. I wonder if they do another sort of target ban towards him, or if it's just more AD junglers. It's going to be the Pantheon. So the Ambessa taken away, you could say that's from Gakgos, but Griffin's also shown that a lot of AD jungle focus as that does get narrowed, but it means Varus is up. Xin Zhao is still up. Varus going through the bans in game 3 is a bit surprising to me. So FlyQuest must have some sort of a plan that they're going to respond with in the bot lane, and I'm really kind of curious to see what that's going to be.
Yeah, definitely think it's a powerful pick at the moment for Poke, as well as on-hit options for him. But another powerful pick that went through that is a pretty good trade is a Rumble. Everybody likes building comps around Rumble here. And it looks like they're discussing what they want to go with it.
How are you feeling about the Galio answer yesterday that we saw? Because that obviously we saw a ton of last year, not so much this year, but it still actually looked quite good. I felt like it.
Yeah, I think it's fine still. And it depends on what else you're going to go with it, because if I'm using that as my response to Rumble, then I probably also want like a Vi pick here, and then I can do Vi with Galio. And so not only is it a good safe answer to the lane, but then I also get a Vi Galio on my team.
All right, how do you feel about the Rumble Jhin on the team?
It's a very common combo because Jhin can fall for such long range, and Rumble Equalizer also. So it's something that is very common for a good reason. Jhin also, will get some lethality in there. Rumble puts a lot of magic damage pressure. So I think it's a good core to work off of.
Yeah, and Jhin is also a safe laner, a strong laner, to be able to deal with the Varus. Thanatos has liked this Aurora answer as a counter pick.
Okay.
Did bring it out as early as week 1 into Morgan. Honestly, didn't do as well as I expected him to in that matchup that week, but he is definitely our strongest laning top laner. He has the counter pick. We'll see what he can get done against Gakgos.
And you can see the stats there at the bottom of the screen. Win-loss 5-0 for Aurora so far this split. The champion's very powerful.
Especially in Thanatos' hands. He's been very aggressive with it. Then bottom lane, to complement this Varus, we need some lane power. That is a lot of lane power.
Like it.
You get the Nico Varus. This is a very, very reliable combo. So much poke damage, so much threatening. So many threatening positions you can get yourself into.
Especially when you think of what FlyQuest wants, and generally with Rumble, with Jhin, you want some sort of hard engage support, right? But if you go towards the Rel or whatever, you're going to get probably slapped in that 2v2. Rel, Alistar, both fit the comp, but do not do well in the 2v2. So they're going to have to just kind of make that sacrifice is their decision. They're going to have to seed the 2v2 or maybe hope for jungle pressure to be able to punish it. And you need that lockdown for the equalizer and for that Jhin to be able to follow up with the Deadly Flourish. So that's a trade-off, but I expect C9 to really have pressure in that 2v2 bot side.
And since we have mirrored picks on either side of the rift, bottom lane duos locked in, top laners locked in, let's see what we get in terms of those mid-jungle bans here in the second half of draft. And there's the Galio ban to try to protect the Rumble.
So another common one along with the Galio that provides CC as well, that is an answer into Rumble, has been the Ornn. And so you could do stuff like that. But since they've got the Aurora, I have a very strong feeling that the Aurora is going into Thanatos' hands. Yeah, you can still have the respect, and clearly FlyQuest 2, where they're like, hey, you could rotate it.
Yep.
We don't know what APA's been up to, so we're going to respect still ban the Galio. If there's something along those lines, though, again, there are other like CC things that you can put up there if you feel like your team still needs, more engage on their side too. But with Aurora and Nico, that's pretty good engage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is interesting. I literally hadn't even considered that it could be APA piloting it. I just don't see Aurora as an APA champ.
Same boat as me.
They are.
Yeah, they are obviously giving that respect over. The other thing that made me think of immediately was when I think back to Nico, when it was actually popular as mid lane, guess who played it a lot? APA. So, there is possibilities that they are getting clever. They are going to be swapping things around a bit. Xin Zhao going to be taken out. Vi is still up and available as far as some of those kind of premium AD junglers. Jarvan was banned out earlier. Pantheon was banned out earlier. And we saw, the Wukong and the Trundle already played. So, is going to be a much more limited pool, but there's still things like Lee Sin. You can't fully ban out all the AD junglers in a 3-game Fearless.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to actually get that deep into the pool, but we do have the Syndra and the Mundo banned out by C9. Galio and Xin Zhao, like you guys have already mentioned, banned out by FlyQuest. Now, what will be pick number 4 for the FlyQuest side? I'm assuming you're going to wait until 5th and final pick for your mid lane.
I would think so, especially with the expectation that APA is supposed to have this weaker pool. You take a premium AD jungler, you take the Vi. I think it makes a lot of sense. They banned 3 AD junglers for FlyQuest, right? So you want to take one away, limit what Blabber is going to have even more so, and then also get counterpick for Quad in the mid lane. Blabber is going to go with the Nocturne, so they are maybe going to do
APA
Nico mid.
Nico for sure.
So that was kind of the thought that my mind went to. We haven't been seeing much of it, but it is going to be the swap. This is kind of cool.
And it's one of my favorite pairings with Nocturne, because Nocturne turn out the lights. It makes it these flank angle engages from not only Nico, but also Aurora and Rakan. This is very, very intense engage. Silas ults, a lot of ults here to steal. A lot of very good ults for Silas to steal.
Yeah, there really are. I mean, there's a lot of, great. There's all these good engage ults on C9. Well, now they're all on FlyQuest too, because Quad is going to have access to them. So a lot of power on both sides. Some cool tricks, it feels like, in the draft throughout this series from C9. They've been very flexible, trying to showcase that this Nico was going to be going bot, but APA going back to something that was a tried and true pick from in the past.
And the only thing you're sad about picking a Silas here is you can't steal your own Alistar's ultimate. That's honestly the only sort of, man, in this case, but I still think they'll be happy with how things are looking. Which one of these comps would you guys say has the edge?
I think they're pretty close. I mean, I like both sides. I like the strengths of both sides. Like I say, Nocturne ult completely changes all of these engage attempts. Nico's already very hard for people to deal with as far as the engage, but when you also have the Rakan, you also have the Nocturne here, these can be just snap kills from Cloud9. Meanwhile, Quad on Silas, a lot of options to steal, as we say, and you do have pretty straightforward dive stuff, like a Vi ultimate plus Rumble ult over the top and Jhin opening up. So both of them do have their strengths. Personally, I just love teams that utilize Nocturne Darkness super well, though, so I will probably go with that side.
Okay.
Because I really, really like those angles, and Nico transforming, then you can kind of do the tricks where you hide on the mini map, and then you turn out the lights, and they can't see you on their screens either.
Yeah, it's also worth noting, so there have been 2 pro play Nikos in mid lane this year, but none in the top 4 leagues, not in the kind of like major regions. And he is going to be playing Ignite. So he's playing Ignite Airy. He is looking to slam this lane. You know, when you're going to go with that combat summoner, you're looking to make sure you have the push to really bully quad in these early levels. And Blabber's going to be starting on an invade. He's going to be looking to start on enemy Raptors. Griffin is in the area, but likely to be gone before he can actually even do anything about it.
Yeah, and I believe that ward sees the entrance on the ramp. I would consider it a pocket pick from APA, you know, because, yeah, it's not very popular for a lot of mid laners, and yet he does it very, you know, reliably. And he's even done interviews talking about a lot of the, you know, Nico passive tricks and stuff that he doesn't see other professional players do, and trying to min-max on even individual runes that you take that only interact with hitting champions. And so you quickly will turn into, you know, a minion or something to be able to deny that and get better trades on people.
Well, as the laning phase is officially underway, we've got Jat standing by for an interview with ThinkCard.
Thanks, Flowers. You guys forced a game 3. How are you feeling with the draft going into game 3?
Yeah, it's pretty explosive. I think both teams are actually pretty happy with what they have. APA is going back to his Nico. And Nico Nocturne, very good combo. But we do like the Alistar. We have a lot of CC for the Rumble. Jhin Rumble is a great composition, so it's gonna be really explosive.
What do you think down the stretch of that game 2 when you had the Soul for Baron trade, but then also the like inhibitor for Elder trade?
I think it's pretty good. I mean, I don't think teams can usually end the game with a Baron at that point if you have Soul, and as long as they honestly don't get like 2 inhibs, we're in a pretty good spot. So I like the guts to be able to make that call on stage. And yeah, we were a little bit behind in the early game for game 2, but we locked in and we bounced back, and that's kind of what you want to see out of the young roster like this one.
All right, I want to let you get back to the game, but what needs to happen to win this game 3?
I think Gakkos needs to neutralize the Aurora, because Thanatos Aurora, you can be a little bit oppressive in lane. And besides that, I need a crowd to have a good game.
All right, thank you very much. ThinkCard, back to the casters.
Yeah, we've definitely seen Thanatos Aurora be very oppressive. Griffin here makes a little pass around mid lane. Don't know if he's going to go for anything deeper, but is still stuck on the 12 CS and just has cleared on this bottom side. So pings already from Blabber. He's re-pinging the timer on those Raptors that we saw him start on. Now we got the pings from Griffin. So Blabber level 4 is presumably going to recontest these. And since his mid laner is a Nico with Ignite, unless Quad is actually able to do something weird here, I mean, he already used his teleport for a reset. So those second Raptor spawns, they're already up, and Blabber's a little bit further away, and Quad already knowing, hey, we got to defend these. They're coming for them.
Okay, Vault Breaker backwards from Griffin. Wants to make sure he doesn't put himself in a compromised spot as Quad uses the Abduct going forward into the chicken camp. Bottom lane, 200 HP on Cryogen. Quad down to 300, but his Blabber even lower. He flashes back on the wall. Griffin wants to follow him, but he can't quite get there. Duskbringer first blood for Blabber in C9.
Yeah, Blabber just forces it. He's like, we have the advantage. We have the power. And once APA comes over with his Ignite, Flash following, they just fight it out. I love the confidence from Blabber, from Cloud9. Blabber also flashing kind of a little bit down from Raptor Pit, and then Griffin trying to flash up and over there. That is so bad for Griffin. FlyQuest are very, very down. They're so far behind here. Big hole in the jungle.
And I mean, Blabber didn't even have Smite when he went for the invade, so he was just looking for the fight. He knew that he was spotted. He knew that he was going to have this strong mid lane here with the Ignite, so they just commit to the play. And you can see the CS gap now in the jungle, 37 to 22 right now. Blabber has just been skyrocketed ahead.
Yeah, and with the kill here is a first blood boosted kill. So it's a 700 gold, 800 gold difference for jungle at the moment, and it's a Nocturne. A Nocturne that is going to be also a level advantage over a Vi. It is just like crazy jungle gap, and yeah, maybe I'm an overreacting jungle at the moment, but things like this literally will just win you games. You know, if you're in Blabber's shoes, like you're a jungler, you're like, okay, we win this game. Like, he is so accelerated. You're going to get your level 6 early. You can put the pressure onto the laners as well. It's just a huge, very, very good feeling and huge advantage there for C9.
It really isn't. And a lot of people obviously have talked about, they're surprised that FlyQuest has made it here, has been a 2-0 team. It wasn't the expectation coming in. But it wasn't just us who were surprised by this. Take it back all the way to the draw show. Masu is saying, Fudge is saying he thinks that we would think we're better than them. He didn't think they're better than them. He thinks they need time to grow. And, they have been so much better than people expected right out the gate.
Okay, bottom lane, we could have some more problems here for Cryogen, who's below half HP. APA moving over towards the Drake. And Griffin once more has to vault break backwards because Blabber and C9 have control over the objective, over the river, and that is Paranoia unlocked for Blabber.
Yeah, it continues to snowball for jungle. It's such a strong feeling here for Blabber, and this is why you really like, mid laners like Ignite Nico. That's why Blabber has so much confidence here in going to these objectives and just forcing them. You saw on the minimap that whole time, yeah, Blabber is doing Dragon while throwing Qs over his back towards the brush that he's like, well, if Griffin is there watching, I'm going to keep chucking these Qs over towards there. I'm still going to get my boosted AD while attacking this Dragon. And I know that APA has mid lane priority. He'll roam over first. And that's a Nico with ultimate ready. So, I'm covered here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's 20 CS lead right now for APA with more minions for him to farm, right? Yep. He is slamming this mid lane in the 1v1. He's allowing Blabber to get a bit more aggressive as a result. And this is going to be tough for Quad because now you have this really accelerated Nico who still has that short cooldown of the Ignite. This is the difficulty when you're fighting against these combat summoners is, yeah, you have your TP to come back once, but the Ignite is going to be up multiple times during that window.
And meanwhile, topside, the Thanatos Aurora is doing exactly what we expected him to do, and there's no relief coming from the jungle.
And part of the reason APA has this CS advantage also is because he went to the play with Blabber after pushing mid lane. So Quad is like, I'm trying to help my jungler. Like, I know you're in a tough spot, buddy. But then every time you go to a losing play like that, you're losing CS, and you're also losing time with your boosted quest experience for being in lane. So it also feels really bad for you.
Yeah, I mean, that is honestly the worst feeling when you sacrifice your lane to go help your jungler, and then it's a losing fight anyway, and now you can't win your 1v1, and your jungler's behind, so they can't help you. And then you're like, all right, where do we go from here, team? We're scaling.
When Kobe first said boosted, I thought he was going to say helping your boosted jungler because it feels really bad when you're this far behind. But Blabber moves into the enemy jungle again, just trying to keep the pressure onto Griffin. Masu and Cryogen are honestly not doing so hot down here in the bottom lane. Piercing arrow interrupts the recall from Masu. Blabber's going to step forward, but he might just get chain CC'd. It's a full commit coming out from FlyQuest, and Blabber decides to commit the Paranoia going in after Masu. They get the kill, and it might just be 2-0. Blabber's still trying to escape. Griffin gets out. Cryogen still running. Sven gets the long-range snipe. It's a 3-0 C9.
There's two snipers on Cloud9. Sven and Blabber hit the Q on the other kill, trailing there to kill Alistar and Silas. And that's another picture perfect. Like, I have confidence in my winning lanes. Blabber's like, okay, yeah, I know. I'm face checking a level 6 Vi. I just saw you get level 6 on this blue. I don't care. my bottom,
don't matter.
Yeah, my bottom lane is pushing. I will face tank this.
And APA moved, right? And Quad was just staying mid lane. He TP'd back to mid lane and was just pushing that wave out. So yeah, APA gives up a plate, gives up a wave or two. Even after giving that up and roaming, he's up 24 CS. And Blabber is just so far ahead, already has his first completed item.
Yeah, the experimental hex plate versus Tunneler plus Dagger is not even remotely comparable here, as Blabber now has control over the topside river 2, guarantees an easy 3 Void Grubs for C9. This is a 3,000 gold lead at 9 minutes. This is nightmare fuel for FlyQuest.
Yeah, it truly is. The entire FlyQuest team will be feeling the Paranoia very shortly because the extra gold gives you more ultimate cooldown, and here's another look at the face check. Again, he has so much confidence because his bot lane can move up, and you'll see the heal comes. Vulcan flashes to get into distance to follow up on this play with Blabber 2, and here's the first snipe, the Q I was talking about. Boom, Blabber hits that one. Takes down the Jhin, then they follow up with the other ones, and I like the follow from Vulcan too because you better go follow up on Blabber plays. Yeah. And yeah, like he's like, oh, I got a flash to get in range. He does flash and he gets there and they pull it off.
I mean, it was a great play from C9. Honestly, I also kind of like the call from FlyQuest, because if you try to just stay under your tower, Masu's so low, you know that the jungler is already there, you know the APA is moving, you're just going to get dove really easily, so they try to do a 3-man turn, hopefully burst down Blabber. Vulcan's too fast to the play, keeps him up, and they just kind of secure that advantage that much further. And now, you know, you have that really snowballing out of control. Thanatos has the Leandries done. We heard those kind of like keys to success from ThinkGuard, but it's going to be tough.
We lost the keys. Yeah. The keys are somewhere on the ground in the yard.
Blabber took them. No, Blabber, they're on the ground, and then Blabber just yoinked them. So my keys now. And it's funny, too, because, you know, you've always heard so many interviews of people who have played with Blabber, and one of the things that's reoccurring is that, yes, he has a very strong view of how you play this game, and when he makes calls for plays, you had better just go follow up on these plays. And we're seeing he's so confident in all of them straight from the level 1, from the Raptor Steel. Here's the Dragonflight, though.
All right, FlyQuest want to go forward. It's Cryogen with the Unbreakable Will ready to go as the front line. You're going to see C9 counterattack it immediately, though. Pop Blossom locks up Griffin, and the jungler's dead again. Second kill goes over to Sven. Cryogen's out of there. It's a 2-for-0. This game could have been an email, but FlyQuest couldn't even open it. C9 are just running them into the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, this one is, the wheels have fallen off for sure. Thanatos is TPing down. Gakos is not even responding to the TP, so I feel like you just have to say, all right, sorry, Cryogen, you're dead. But instead, they kind of stay around. The tether from the Varus ult did land onto Griffin, and then the Nico ult is there to follow. Everyone is kind of getting caught on the way out. You lose the dragon, you get crushed in the fight, and Cloud9 just gets that much further ahead.
Yeah, I like the early ult from Blabber here, just making sure, and there's going to be no reinforcements. Nobody's getting out alive. He gets the crab even on the reset there after taking the objective, so early dragons are stacking. Gold lead very, very healthy for C9. They are in perfect position to push forward the lead with the team that has so many weapons to engage.
C9's already playing the League of Legends MMO. Gentlemen, all 5 quests completed, and FlyQuest barely have one.
A lot of experience for that, too.
In the top lane, yeah.
That's supposed to be their thing. There's quest in the name.
Yeah,
they can't
they're flying away. They're not even here on Summoner's Rift anymore. It's a 4,000 gold lead for C9. Thanatos is up here just kind of vibing. He's having a good time.
Is this Cloud9's year? Because they are starting out quite strong in the LCS. Return of the LCS, return of Cloud9 to the top.
They are the kings of spring, you know. Generally, when they win, it is
winter.
That's true. That's true.
We forget because we're in LA. You know, it's hard to notice.
Yeah, there's snow in other places. My mom sends me pictures of all the snow in Ohio. But there's definitely not a whole lot of problems here for C9 on the Rift right now. They've got 2 minutes until the Rift Herald spawns. They're not going to wait until then to try to force some kind of a fight as a nice Tangle Barb locks up Cryogen. That's an Alistar. Normally, you don't full commit onto an Alistar, but normally you're not 4,000 gold ahead 13 minutes into the game. They force the ulti and the flash over the wall from the FlyQuest support and then just walk on back out.
Speak for yourself. I usually do this well. You know, I do pretty well.
This is a common Kobe Volleybear game.
I'm a 4K average gold lead at
okay, all right.
13 minutes. Don't check on those stats.
I checked the ladder. It's going to say Kobe at rank 1.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, we got a quad going in.
Okay, quad trying to make something happen here, but immediately it's C9 ready to respond. I respect FlyQuest trying to get something, but at this point, it's just so hard to deal with C9 at all. FlyQuest have already lost their jungler. Now it's a double kill back over to Blabber. Gakos wants to at least get one back on him here, and he will do just that. Fly finally on the board, but it comes at the cost of 3 of their men.
I mean, Vulcan is just responding to these plays so well. You know, he gets in, immediately blocks the Q flash from Griffin coming through, has his charm already up, so they're insta-charmed on the engage. Like, just look at how he responds to this. The E comes through, he sees incoming Vi, E's forward, blocks the Q flash, charms them both up. Like, that's just picture perfect from the support. And he has been there, it feels like, every time his team has needed him quietly throughout the entire series. You think about the earlier invade, he's right there with Blabber going behind the tower. You think back to even the Lulu Nidalee game. He's right there on the invade with Blabber. Right place, right time, pretty much every damn time is Vulcan this series.
Yeah, very nice from him. And in the end, even though they do claim the bounty from killing Blabber, you know, Gakos also had to flash for that to get into the bush. And now attacking bot again. Good night.
Yep. honestly, before you even finished the
Sleep
sentence, that was the end of it right there. It's another black and white screen for FlyQuest. 6,000 gold lead for C9. APA ready to pick up this bottom lane tier 1 turret right after.
Wait, what was that Teemo emote there in Flash? I need a replay. That did double Teemos eating burgers or something? It was like its eyes were knocked out.
Double Teemos eating burgers.
Let me get a replay. Let me see those emotes. They had synergy. It was same time. Did you guys see those?
I wasn't paying attention.
All right, well maybe.
The one I've been noticing is I think APA's spamming something that looks like Smolder's in jail.
Yeah, I saw.
What did that dragon do deserve to get locked up?
I don't know, yeah. Maybe it's something from Scrims. I don't know, we'll see.
I'm not sure. But look at these emotes. Those are some emotes.
I like the
oh man.
The disgruntled LCS one from is it Sona?
Oh yeah, the Sona Hermf.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like FlyQuest is a little disgruntled right now. They tried to make the move there on Thanatos. He drops the R, walks through the portal. He's immediately out, no stress whatsoever. I'm seriously struggling to find any sort of angle for FlyQuest in this game. The game feels just entirely lost already at 16 minutes, and it all snowballed from Blabber's early invade. Stridebreaker now completed alongside the Hex Plate. Griffin has at least finally completed his first item with the Sundered Sky, but it's just a molehill in front of a mountain.
Yeah, I mean, it feels honestly very similar to game 1. All you can do in a position like this, keep sending it, hope that they mess up, hope that you find a perfect engage, equalizer across everyone. It's got to be the miracle play, right? You're just so far down, and we'll see if they can find something here. They're going to show up and hope they can collect some bounties.
All right, FlyQuest looking to contest Dragon number 3. Vulcan going behind enemy lines. He's tanking up a ton of damage here from the Flame Spitter, but Griffin is already dead. Stolen Nico ulti, not gonna do a thing. APA killing spree there as Quad falls for the 3rd time. No enemy jungler means no Dragon contest.
JDG, it said. It's a JDG burger.
Yeah, JDG burger.
JDG burger.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, okay. We'll get the lore on it afterwards. I know there's a lot of memes surrounding burger eating. that
sounds ominous. How did you make burger eating sound ominous?
Yeah, that was...
Burger eating is just a fun time for everybody.
American pastime.
Get Raz on the phone. Sometimes Raz, for no reason, will just talk about how, man, I love burgers.
I have actually never met anyone that loves burgers more than Raz, but Sven and Vulcan with the double flash of it, so.
That's JDG, right?
It's JDG. No, you're right.
Double JDG burger, but now we've got Thanatos again, just trying to get away from Quad, and Griffin hits him with the weirding, gets hit by the abduct. Doesn't really matter, because I don't think he's going anywhere he doesn't want to be. Thanatos now going to collect his 2nd kill of the game. He's got to catch up. Honestly, he's falling behind.
Yeah.
Everybody else
Where's
has way
the
more.
hustle, man?
You're not wrong.
Come on. Where's the grind set?
Masu's trying to catch up.
Okay, let's see what they can find here in the mid lane as Vulcan goes in for the quickness. APA's ready to follow up with a full Pop Blossom. There's just... There's no way home except a body bag for FlyQuest in this one, man. Vulcan does at least finally drop. Cryogen's going to claim the 2nd kill of the game for FlyQuest at the cost of a 5-digit gold lead for C9.
Nobody on FlyQuest is worrying about any costs at the moment, Flowers.
Stop the count.
Okay? There is no cost if you ever get a kill for any reason.
That's good.
All good.
That's good. It's always a thumbs up.
But
are you fist bumping on that kill?
I'm bumping that kill.
Me? Yeah, I am.
It's an ironic bump,
Yeah,
though.
same. Yeah. I'm in there.
Yeah.
We got him.
You don't fully mean it, but that's all right. Interview with Blabber after this game. We have to put the asterisk there because technically a meteor could still fall and hit the C9 PCs, but that's most likely not going to happen, and this is pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah. Or a giant burger.
A meteor that's also a burger.
Maybe, Masu, remember last year when he spilled the coffee on one of their own computers? And it like blew up the computer because as he was cleaning up, their game was finished, but he like dumped an entire coffee into a computer.
Yeah.
And APA was the one who had to play next, I remember.
Yeah, true.
So APA got the sabotaged computer. So they had to replace the whole computer. So maybe if Masu can sneak over to the other side and dump a coffee into APA's computer, we could have something happen here.
Well, we've got something happening in top lane. Pop Blossom's already set up the 1st kill. Can't finish my sentence before the 2nd one comes through. Sven is on a rampage. Quad is dead. And the tier 2 turret is under pressure. It's 11,000 gold in under 20 minutes for C9. Baron is spawning, and I don't think he's going to live very long, boys.
I concur, Flowers. This is why I like watching teams that have so crazy engaged with, you know, Nocturne and Nico and Rakan, because some of these fights that we're watching, like, one fight Vulcan flashes on you, then the next fight APA flashes on you. There is a Baron that's being like slightly contested here. Griffin is not worrying about a cost at the moment, and he's like, all right, maybe I just go over there for the miracle, but they can't even get past the clone. So gonna back off, and
that's a problem when you can't get past the clone.
Yeah, can't even get past the clone.
The clone is stronger than anyone on their team at this point in the game.
Like, whoa, there's a clone in that brush. Let's back it up, buddy.
Guys, hold on now.
Hold on now there, partner.
The clone is rich. The clone is also on Cloud9, so you don't know what that clone's capable of,
That's
buddy.
true. We don't know.
Schrodinger's clone.
That's a clone with a mage eyes. Put some respect on his name.
Yeah, he's already got 10 pages in his book, and there's only going to be more from here. Cryogen's in the bottom side. River jumps in. They try to make their play onto the Cloud9 AD carry. They do at least grab the kill onto APA, but it costs everybody who was part of the move, and it might just cost even more than that. Quad still trying to escape as Vulcan tags him. Silas shouldn't die here, right?
Nah, it's good.
Okay.
All good.
All right, he's chilling.
Not worrying about the costs. I don't know. Maybe he's not all good.
Uh-oh. Thanatos goes between worlds. Vulcan's ready to back him up yet again. Nice knock-up with the quickness. Griffin, okay, he lives. He lives. Honestly, not bad. In a game like this, every time you live, that's a fist bump.
That's
right
a dub.
there. You're
For
feeling
how
good
long?
about it.
For how long?
Not
they're
very
inside
long.
the base with Baron.
Not long.
Not very long, because they've got Baron at 21 minutes and they're breaking 2 inhibitor turrets at the same time. Bottom lane inhibitor already out of the picture as FlyQuest are respawning. That is the silver lining here. They do have fast respawn timers. TP showing up as the equalizer comes down. C9 now having to try to deal with Gak goes. The burst goes through and Thanatos falls. FlyQuest get a pick as Vulcan wants to see if they can get anything else back. Piercing arrow over the top, followed by the auto attack. Sven's gonna get one there. Blabber executes Cryogen. Doesn't really matter what the Alistar can try to do right there, ulti or not, you are gone.
Yeah, that's just mean. I mean, nothing there. It's the one shot, pop the ults, go back, get your dragon then. And congratulations, Dragon Soul achieved for Cloud9.
Yeah, and it's looking like first seed going to be achieved for Cloud9 as well. You know, really did have what we expected to be, you know, that really tough opponent in TL at the start, but things have really kind of been flipped on their heads because TL at the end of the day ended up with the 1-2. LYON ended up, you know, 1-2. So those teams that were expected to be up at the top didn't end up there at the end of the Swiss stage, though of course it was a quick Swiss stage, and it's making me pretty excited to see what's going to happen in the playoff bracket. You know, will these upsets continue to happen, or will things kind of go back more to expected?
Thanatos ended up missing his spells and still chunking Masu for half HP, so it's very difficult for FlyQuest to hold any position outside of their own base. That bottom lane inhibitor already down. Remember, mid lane inhibitor exposed, and C9 still only a few seconds at least left on the Baron.
Also worth mentioning, this is not going to be the last game. We do still have the last chance match that is going to be 6 versus 7 seed to get that last spot in playoffs. That's going to be Dig versus TL, speaking of TL, who is going to have to win their way in against Dignitas, who was coming off of a dub earlier today.
And I feel like a lot of people were expecting Dignitas to struggle at the start of the year. I think we all had them either 7th or 8th in our power rankings going into the opening of 2026. But TL, we also all had them like top 1 or top 2, except maybe for Kangas because he had to move one of those spots for Shopify. But that's a pretty big surprise that TL's having to fight for their life in the best of 1 after this. If Dignitas can knock TL out of contention and move on to bracket play themselves, that would be huge for them.
It definitely would be. Here we go. APA in.
APA in. Everybody on FlyQuest out. Griffin's the first kill. Blabber goes underneath the Nexus turret. Surely he should die here for that as Cryogen drops next. FlyQuest trying to just keep anybody alive somehow. Blabber is not yet dead because the Guardian Angel he had previously purchased resurrected him. You don't normally expect to see the jungler with the GA fully complete at 24 minutes, but C9 is going to slam this third game even harder than the first. They will average more than 1 kill per minute, and they will claim that 3-0 spot heading into the bracket stage.
Wow, what a series here. Kind of quite a roller coaster because they slammed 2 of the games. The mid game was very competitive. You know, Lounge, how are we feeling about the end of the day so far? 1 more left, a little bonus action.